Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safely Liquid Beer Review podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
4, 3, 2, 1. It is all over. The Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
For the win. Draisaitl centers McDavid, tips it home. Game over.
Gretzky going in, Suter trying to get back. Gretzky with his number 4.
It's the 6 o'clock and check-in. Come on, let's go.
And he scores.
How dude.
Draisaitl.
It's the AM nasty big hello.
And there it is. Zach Hyman.
It's the cool band, red hot Nielson Show. Let's go.
The Oilers pouring it on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Smith from behind the net, a wraparound. Horton scores! Edmonton wins!
Everybody tuning in, even my wife. And those Macramella intros are cutting like a knife.
That is an absolutely pitifully bad call.
Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life.
It is Marchand scores.
It's like a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin.
McDavid, beautiful move. In on the box. What can you say?
That's Peter Curry.
Here they come, the Oilers. It's dropped back for Bookberger. Shoots, scores! Bookberger! The Oilers win it!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
How dude.
It's the Halloo Crew.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. Halloo, 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 halloo.
How dude.
It's the Halloo Crew.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear?
It's the
Hell's
Halloo
coming
Crew.
with me!
Very impressive. Taken a few years to put all this together.
It's not a one-year quest because it's so hard to get your hands on. At this stage of my life, I don't invest in green bananas. It's a lifetime quest. Just not sure if I'm going to be around long enough to see them ripen to be yellow. You can't party enough when you win that thing. It's a party machine. Party machine. That's why it's the Stanley Cup. It's hard. It's hard.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. A happy halloo to all of you. Thank you very much for being here. The Nielsen Show today and every day brought to you by the fine crew out at South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Truck month continues with deals that hit harder and more often than Zach Hyman on Silverado 1500s and heavy duty. 0% financing for 72 months OAC right now on Silverado 1500 crew cabs, which are built right here in Edmonton, and some big discounts. Not in Edmonton, in Canada, I should say. I got carried away there. Big discounts on the Silverados. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Rick, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Happy conference finals tip-off tonight.
You know,
Thunder and Timberwolves.
Another that's
well,
going to be a hell of a series. Anthony Edwards going up against SGA.
Yeah, not all places and teams can say that they make it to the conference finals. It is an elite group of 4.
That's right.
But the Edmonton Oilers are also one of them.
In both leagues.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs are not.
In both leagues. The Toronto Maple Leafs definitely not.
Judging from the nasty chat in the Paris Jewelers inbox, most people want to talk Leafs and not Oilers.
It's one. It could be one of those
get
shows.
To the Oilers tomorrow.
I mean, I don't want a straight up gold troll job, but that is hilarious.
I sat next to 2 Leafs fans at the bar during Game 7.
What?
Yeah.
You lucky duck.
One was in the military. I got up and thanked him for his service.
Thank you for your service.
But it was quite entertaining. Like, it's one thing to watch them lose, but when you're in the company of...
Yeah, man, I wish I was you. I wish I was you. I was watching them implode at home. Like, if I was Leafs fans, I would hate that team so much. Like they did it to you in the worst of fashion.
Yeah.
Game 5,
gave you hope.
You get absolutely embarrassed at home. Jerseys are on the ice. Then they go in Florida and win Game 6, and you're going back to your garbage can, opening up and pulling out your jerseys and your shirts and your hats once again. You're putting that back on. You're spending hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars to go back to Game 7, and they get spanked again. Like, that might have been the most hilarious thing I've ever seen happen to a fan base.
Yeah.
That was too funny.
Who needs home ice advantage, right?
There was nobody left there at the end of the game. No. And those poor bastards still did the old stick salute while they're getting booed off the bloody ice.
Mitch Marner still had dry hair.
God, I thought that was one of the best things. The whole Marner freak out video, somebody was like, you can't be yelling at guys with that dry of hair.
No.
I thought that was kind of
terrible look.
Anyway, adios to you once again, Toronto Maple Leafs. Best of luck next year. But Mitch Marner is going to be gone. The very first text we had in today to the Paris Jewelers inbox, which is Canadian and family owned. They're a family business, Canadian based. If you're looking to do business with Canadian companies, dare I suggest Paris Jewelers is a place to go. Do not pay for 1 year. They're at West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert Center. Online, of course, at parisjewelers.com.
This isn't the text I'm thinking of, is it?
No, the La Bamba farmer, though. The La Bamba farmer texted in last night. 10:13 p.m. Is this the one?
This is the one.
10:13 p.m. last night, the La Bamba farmer texted and says, I knew Tuesday morning is an Oilers preview, which it certainly is. We'll get into it with Button and Gager and stuff. And tomorrow will be big playoff preview as well. But I know Tuesday morning is an Oilers preview. But if Marner were to sign somewhere for $12 million, should the Oilers take a run at him? I think once he's outside Toronto, he will be elite. I know it's unlikely they can afford him cap-wise. Yeah, a conch for the La Bamba farmer. Just getting in with a text 8 hours before the show starts. Have to love the commitment. Here's the thing with Marner is that he is elite in the regular season. And then the playoffs come around and he and Matthews, the moment is simply too big.
Matthews is hurt.
Simply, of course, Matthews is hurt. The only thing hurt about Matthews is Bieber's feelings. Or Matthews' feelings after Biebs bails after 40 minutes. You know it's bad when Biebs isn't even sticking around to throw that horrible coat on the ice. Like, that's a tough look. That is a tough look.
He leaves Toronto, though. That hair gets a little more damp.
You think so?
Like, it'll be a little more wet.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Getting
out of the pressure cooker that is that Canadian market.
I want Berube to do with Marner. And I wouldn't put my hand anywhere near Matthews' hair. It just looks greasy as hell. But I want Berube to do with Marner what I do with Marshall after skates. And I go into the dressing room, he takes his helmet off, and I sweat test him. And if I run my hand through his hair and it doesn't come away all sweaty, I'm be like, buddy, you weren't working hard enough. And he's like, I know, Daddy. The sweat. So when he's worked really hard, he'll take it off, and you can see he's a little sweaty. He's like, come on. Let's go. Sweat test me. I want to see Berube sit down there after 20 minutes and sweat test Mitchie Marner.
I thought you were putting like a pH tab on his, the ones that you test for the acidity.
God.
If it turns green.
There it is. Leafs fans, I got to hear from you. I mean, first of all, will you admit to being one today? Second of all, how are you? How are you today?
But you're quite right. It's the hope that kills you.
That's the thing.
You should have just went down to Florida.
This tidy little victory in Florida, and you're thinking, going home with home ice. And then what were the shot attempts at one point were like 27-0. The shot attempts. Like Florida just came out and put the hammer down, and Toronto simply doesn't have an answer. Tabby text in. Classic Leafs performance on Sunday. I wonder if they finally fixed the four core. You know, like they should have done 4 years ago. Thanks, Shanahan.
The Shanna plan.
It's almost to the point where I feel bad for Leafs fans. Almost. I never will, but almost. Because how many times can you be taken back out behind the barn and kicked in the balls?
The Panthers feel sorry more for the Leafs players and blame the fans.
The Panthers, yeah.
Hey,
I know Paul
how about that
Maurice,
move?
Brad Marchand,
Kachuk, they're
all of them, all over
it's
the.
tough. It's hard.
I don't know. Is the Leafs fan base the worst fan base in all sports?
Yeah, but what? Draisaitl spoke about that yesterday. It's not like there's no pressure here either.
Yeah, oh, there's pressure.
And when they lose, I mean, people get. I mean, we've seen the receipts.
780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube and you're excited that the Leafs are out, hammer the thumbs up for us. We're 12 away from changing 100. And hey, we have hit 12.3K on the sub meter, which means our push to 13,000 subs continues.
Subseason continuing in this market.
Oh, a subseason definitely continues here. Although I'm sure Steve Dangle probably got some subs after that. I mean, you know what? That's on brand for him, though. Like, he wants to freak out. He wants to lose his mind. That's how he became who he is.
Even if you look at the Maple Leafs public viewing party, the people in the front row, that's not random. They're there to see their reaction. And actually, they like losing that Game 7 as opposed to winning it because you probably did get a lot more clicks and views.
RBM texts in this morning, says, breaking news. The Ottawa Senators have signed Mitch Marner to a team-friendly 8-year deal. That's good. Rush the Beer League goalie says, Dusty, how do you sweat test Marshall after a pool sesh? I don't need to. He doesn't even break a sweat when he's in the pool against those other kids.
Just bone dry.
It comes out dry as a whistle. If that's a
cucumber.
That's the saying right there.
Jeremy from Belleville, Ontario this morning. How about a check in on 10:50 for our entertainment?
Oh, man.
Laughing emoji.
I know they said they were going to go to calls for like an hour today. Shoot me in the head.
We'll never beat the Wizard of Oz call.
No, that's it.
That's
we
an
peaked.
all-timer. Top shelf.
We peaked with last week's Wizard of Oz call. Like,
what's the other one there?
Yeah. You know the movie.
I can't believe that happened.
You know the movie Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you know, the straw, the Tin Man and the lion. And who was the other one? Dorothy?
Yeah.
No, not Dorothy. God. And then he didn't even compare Matthews to the Tin Man. Just such a bad call that you're almost thinking it's good, but then you realize it's just bad. God, 780-218-9990. Hit us up in the Parachuters inbox. One of your text messages today will win text of the day today. A&W's new Steakhouse Teen Burger from bun to bun. It's loaded with steakhouse flavors unlike any you've had before. It's got that bacon jam. It's sweet and smoky. Peppercorn aioli, that's creamy and savory. And A&W's juicy grass-fed beef raised without the use of hormones and steroids. Taste the Steakhouse Teen Burger for a limited time at A&W, Canada's original burger chain since 1956.
I'd love to, but Tina never showed.
Where is Steakhouse Teen Burger Tina?
Teen Burger Fergie's prostate, more like it.
He did bring him by.
He sure as hell.
Fergie did deliver Steakhouse Teen Burgers for us on Friday.
Big Leafs fan.
Yeah.
Fergie's prostate.
They were, it was pretty damn good, actually.
It was great,
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was a good burger. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio right now, where they've got what they're calling a pickle menu. The tang, the brine, the crunch. Our delicious pickle lineup is available now for you to enjoy for a limited time only. Order now at all locations. It's a delicious pickle lineup. God, you
don't
guys,
whine. Taste the brine.
You've done it again. This is you want to feel fine? Get some brine. Down at Popeyes today.
Can I get a liter of brine, please? Can you imagine just going in there like a fountain drink? They got it on tap.
Yeah, but it's brine.
Brine, just brine.
Pickle brine. Lingus is in and says, can I get a conch for my daughter at her dance competition while I sport my EST casual wear in the field? Yeah, he's wearing his Can I Get a Win Yes shirt and his Edmonton Sports Talk hat. Gotta love it, Lingus. Now, does Shanahan even get to make this decision in Toronto, do you think? Shanahan should be blown out by now. How long has Shanahan been there for? It's got to be what, 12 years? How long has this Shanna plan been going?
It's the you don't trust the Shanna plan?
When did Shanahan take over the Toronto Maple Leafs? Let's see here. Let's get an exact date on this, because he has had more than a fair shake. 2014.
Yeah.
April 11th, 2014. So that would have been immediately following a horrible regular season. They hired Brendan Shanahan. He has now had 11 years, and I think he's delivered one series victory. So probably got to go, man. Like, in that market to get that type of run with these results, that's almost have photos of somebody worthy. Like, you've had over 10 years. You brought in the golden child in Dubas. Didn't work out. I don't know how he gets to run it back. That's crazy. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. All right. Let's get to Trev. Can you look into the listen live button? Somebody texted in and said it's redirecting to the golf show for some reason. I don't know if it's the watch live.
I will look into that.
Yeah, watch live or listen live. Let's.
I like how Murray and Stock are doing the show right
Stalker
now.
are in here
They
and then
rewired it to kind
hacking our website. Yeah, the watch live link is just taking us to, I guess, at least for that person. Guys, I don't know why Matthews is so angry with being a passenger. I've been a passenger all weekend on the way to work. I get to nap on the way to work and the way back from work. Someone tell Matthews he can nap now, because we know he isn't the one who's driving that team. That's in from the Wolf today.
Ow. Ow.
Yeah. I don't know. Marner's going to walk. You're losing Marner for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, he's an excellent regular season performer. So you're losing Marner for nothing. Nice work, Shanna plan. And I'm assuming they might try to keep John Tavares around on a much discounted price, which is fine.
But
I
even
guess.
that, I mean, who cares? Doesn't move the needle much.
It doesn't, does it?
You know.
So what do you do?
Like, now Tavares can really shine with Marner out of the picture.
Yeah, now he can really take off.
Now.
I don't know. I mean, to me, Shanahan's got to go. You're losing Marner. I guess you're going to try to continue to build this thing around Matthews, but I'll just say it right now. I mean, the Toronto Maple Leafs will not win a Stanley Cup with Austin Matthews as their number one guy. They just won't. They'll either need to bring somebody else in and let Matthews score goals, and that's it. But Austin Matthews is not rallying a group of players behind him. Ever.
You can't bring anybody else
happen.
in, though, to lead insteed of him, right? They've already christened him their marketing.
That's the problem. I mean, what are you going to do? Bring somebody in and strip the C and give it to Matty Nyes anyway?
Right.
I don't.
There's no world in which that happens. I don't know which player would agree to that.
They're screwed. I mean, they went out, improved their blue line, which was an area of concern, and they did a good job with that.
Got an outstanding coach, which I thought would have gotten them over that line, or at least got them a little farther than they have traditionally.
All right, what say you? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We're going to lay out the show for you. Hammer the thumbs up for us if you're watching over on YouTube today. Could probably smash through 200 here by 6:30 or shortly after. So hammer the thumbs up on YouTube. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. And, of course, text us. We like to be the most interactive show that you can find. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999.
Atif sent in a song. Texting our personal phones.
I already got a new song for everybody today.
That's right.
I wrote a Doc Holliday song for Tombstone Tuesday. AI'd it, and it's been a decent product. I listened and played it for the boys today. It's a catchy little country jingle, isn't it?
I was going to take a stab at the genre, but country. Yes.
It's definitely country. You can tell how it begins. Just a quick little tease. Let's play a game of Guess the Genre. It's country.
It's not Cajun.
It's country of some type. Platypalooza begins today, Mr. Mike's. Come on down to the bottom. The Fan Zone coming up at 6:30. We will debut that Tombstone song around 6:30 as well. The Good, Bad, and Ugly from a long weekend for the 780. We'll go there. I was in a 780 location over the weekend.
Okay.
More on that during Weekly Confessions.
Oh.
Yeah. Craig Button's going to join us just after 7 o'clock today. We'll have your Play Alberta early bird bet of the day. Weekly Confessions for Spectrum Rental. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces and all of their exclusive Napoleon products. We'll get to that around 7:45. Take a look back at last year's series between the Oilers and the Stars. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. Gager's going to be by. He's going to want to talk Formula One. Max Verstappen with a brilliant move to start the race. Never look back. We'll get into that with Gager. We'll also get his thoughts on Jake Ottinger. And also, how good was Stuart Skinner last year against the Dallas Stars? I mean, Skinner haters, you're going to want to earmuffs this thing. But he had a .922 save percentage in 6 games against Dallas last year.
3 games to go until game 4, though.
Hello. Yeah, well, it's
you can't start him, can you?
But 922 throughout the whole series, though. I think you kind of have to like that. All right, let's get to your morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. You can record every single morning. Jess Jackson on the way home. All right, lots. I mean, more Toronto Maple Leafs follow because it is highly entertaining. We'll continue to get to that. But speaking of Yukon Jack, he's 0-1 on the Tecmo standings. Matty Iwanek. We didn't talk about this because it happened after the show on Friday, but Matty Iwanek loses in his second game of the year to Jay Milne. They played again later, I think, in the day, and Matty got revenge. So Iwanek is 2-1. Glue Guy's 2-1. I'm 2-0. Poor YouTube. Trev's 0-3. Trev, how's your first start to the season for Tecmo for you?
You know, maybe this is exactly what I needed to start,
a rebuild year,
pretty bad start, and kind of get everyone's hopes up, and then maybe near the finish line.
I see.
Playing possum.
I'm like the Oilers, maybe.
You took me to overtime.
And then
and you haven't had a sniff against the other guys.
And then I got spanked by Hernan, and then Glue Guy, I couldn't get anything past him.
Bad weather, though, eh?
I will say the weather did. You got
of course, yeah.
That was affecting
weather games aren't easy.
And this is what's funny. This league, though, you've played 3 games. Mm-hmm. Maddie's played the same opponent twice. Zach's yet to touch the field.
Zach, I don't even know if he's going to get in a regular season game.
Who's the idiot that made this schedule?
I'm afraid we're going to get to a spot where we've all played our games and Zach hasn't played a single game yet.
Yeah. That's why I voted Zach in, and I was I was pushing for him.
Because you wanted to get games against Zach.
Those are the games I'm winning, so I know for at least I'll have what do we play? We play everyone
4 times each, I think.
Okay, so I got 4 wins guaranteed.
You got 4. Ooh, jeez, eh? Poor Zach. Zach about to go 0-24 in the regular season. It's a tough one. It's a tough look. Anyway, Tecmo season's underway.
One of the early highlights, though, is watching Reed Wilkins' face when Maddie tries to explain the overtime rules to him.
Oh, yeah. Reed is just anti... But he really enjoys. He comes over. He watches.
Well, he likes the field.
He does the different play-by-plays.
Yeah, he does his Pat Summerall.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a Cuthbert as well.
Yeah.
But then he's also criticizing all of Maddie's decisions.
I love it.
I really like Reed as the guy outside the league giving Iwanek the gears inside the league.
I want him to start a blog and start writing articles and just eviscerating.
Can you believe Iwanek said this the other day?
And all on him, yeah.
Well, if Reed comes in, he goes, well, I'd like a list of who's got which teams. He goes, I'd like to follow along as a fan. This is a really tough league to be a fan of.
Yes, he's right.
Anyway, speaking of football, CFL preseason launched yesterday in Victoria. BC Lions hosting the Calgary Stampeders, and the Calgary Stampeders coming out on top. All I could think of checking in on the box score of that game after was, thank God I'm not doing a CFL preseason game this year.
In all of
tough.
sports,
There's like 80 dudes, and none of them are going to make the team usually.
We like Grapefruit League and Cactus League. You can go down south. You can go to these weird little ballparks, and it's fun. Preseason hockey, I mean, we've already complained the schedule's too long, but preseason football has got to be, I mean, it's strictly for the coaches and the manager.
Yeah,
but it really nothing much more. And good to have it at Langford. I mean, it was somewhere else that people can go and that, but that's what they should do.
Yeah, that was cool. That was good.
Most of the exhibition should be in places where, fans can't really have an opportunity to access the team. And so that was pretty neat. But yeah, I mean, nothing to.
Yeah, a conch for Eddie the scheduler for not giving me a preseason game this year.
Absolutely.
I would
Probably pulling more away from the Elks fan day on Saturday, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I was going to good, bad, ugly. I'm going to get to it on my good today. Don't spoil the good. But Elks fan day was terrific. It was absolutely outstanding. If you couldn't get out to Sherwood Park, you're missing out. It was a really good time. We'll lay it all out for you coming up. I would spend twice as much, if not 3 times as much time prepping for a preseason game than I do for a regular season game. And then you see like maybe 10% of those guys on the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
It was frustrating.
That's why you should go to these smaller places, play it in front of people who can't see it, let the coaches and management figure it out, and away you go. It's just not much to pull.
The biggest news today, Matthias Ekholm skating with the main group.
Hey, that's my good bad.
Yes. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. We're ruining all our good, bad, and uglies. Anyway, Matthias Ekholm skated with the main group yesterday. Not going to play in the first 2 games. We'll see how it's sort of, and if they can, let's say they get a split, maybe they don't need to rush him back at any point.
Day to day. I mean, that's an encouraging status, right? What does that mean?
Nobody knows what day to day means.
At least a week.
Nobody knows what playoff day to day means in the National Hockey League.
What even is a day?
Positive side.
What do you constitute? Like a day could be?
Day to day to me is somewhere between 5 to 7.
Oh, okay.
Which is less than a week.
Okay.
If it was that point, then it would be a week-to-week situation. I might have time for extending Knobloch's meaning of day-to-day to a 10 to 14 sort of day system.
Wow.
But that's all I want to read into there. Hey, I want to throw to Conch for that guy who's in Vietnam listening this morning.
Pin it.
Should I say it? Good morning, Vietnam. All right, we very rarely get to do that because usually people aren't watching or listening in Vietnam. But today we had a chance to do it. Shout out to Robin Williams for being amazing. You say it's 7 p.m. there?
It's 7:30. Give him a good evening.
I should have said, yeah, okay.
Well, good. I mean, you can do both.
Good evening, Vietnam. Ugh, that's God. We're firing on all cylinders today, or what?
Vietnam.
The fan zone is coming up. Your predictions. What say you? We saw how it went last year. Edmonton Oilers win game 1 in overtime. Was it double overtime? Might have been double overtime. Anyway, they win game 1. Then they lose games 2 or 3. If I dial it back a bit, I can remember everybody panicking like crazy after game 3. Then they win games 4, 5, and 6 because Stuart Skinner's the greatest game 4 beyond goalie in the history of the sport. So what are you thinking this year? Where's that confidence level at, fans? Let's go. Fan zone this thing. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Fan zone this right now. Okay? Level of confidence in the Oilers getting by the Stars. Are you at a 10? Are you at a 7? Are you at a 4? Where are you at? 780-218-9999. And why? Why are you super confident? Why are you not confident at all? We'll get into that coming up here just after 6:30 today. We'll debut this new Tombstone song as well because it is Tombstone Tuesday. And the good, bad, and ugly from the long weekend coming up for the 780 as well. Keep the text messages coming in. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. 40 likes away from changing 200 this morning. So hammer the thumbs up for us over there as well. Let's get to a sports update right now for Lieutenant Eric. With Lieutenant Eric.
Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals goes tonight from Raleigh between the Hurricanes and Panthers. Matthias Ekholm, meanwhile, participating in his first full skate of the playoffs yesterday ahead of tomorrow's Game 1 between the Oilers and Stars down in Dallas. Ekholm officially listed as day-to-day. World Hockey Championships, Eli Tolvanen scored the shootout winner as Finland would edge Canada 2-1, handing Canada its first loss at the tournament. Canada will take on Group A leaders Sweden later today. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA goes tonight down in Oklahoma City between the Thunder and Timberwolves. Jays dropping 2 of 3 to the Tigers over the weekend. They return to action tonight. They'll host the Padres to kick off a 3-game set. First pitch, 5:07. CFL preseason kicking off yesterday as it was the Stampeders over the Lions 26-16 from Starlight Stadium in Langford, BC. Sticking with football, over to the NFL, where a vote on whether to allow players to participate in flag football at the 2028 LA Olympics is expected to pass later today at league meetings in Minneapolis. Hour 1 of the Nielson Show continues next here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
It's the Hallelujah Crew. 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 Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. It's the Hallelujah Crew. It's the Hallelujah Crew.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's the Hallelujah Crew. It's the Hallelujah Crew. It's the Hallelujah Crew.
6:33 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here, Ryan, with the AM Nasty today. Coming at you from the Popeyes, Louisiana Kitchen Studio. This morning, we got Craig Button coming up just after 7 o'clock. We will get his thoughts on the looming changes in Tirana, and we'll get his thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Stars meeting for the second year in a row in a conference final. Is this the year Dallas finally gets over the hump? The Oilers managed to get the job done last year. So we'll get into that.
Very strong conference finals in both the East and the West.
Very good teams. The Final Four, all legit. Canes have been knocking on the door for a while, trying to sort of shed that reputation of San Jose Sharks of the East. Then you've got Dallas. You've got Edmonton on the other side. Obviously, the Oilers very close last year. Dallas has been right there. And then you've got the defending champions looking to make it 3 trips in a row to the Stanley Cup final. This is heavy. These are heavy hitters right now.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters in the National Hockey League. We're going to dive into the fan zone right away. That'll be 780-218-9999 over on the Nasty Chat on YouTube. I do want to dish out a couple of conches before we debut this new Tombstone song today. It's a Doc Holliday song, essentially. Scott from Wainwright says, fellas, maybe a little bit too late, but could I get a conch for my daughter who turned 16 today and is heading to the Stollery for cancer chemo treatment and then to go do some birthday shopping? Happy birthday, Peyton. Love it. Yes, happy birthday indeed, Peyton. Best of luck with everything today. And this one is into the parachuters inbox as well at 780-218-9999. Good morning, guys. Can I get a birthday conch for my wife, Amanda? Thanks, Jeff. Gotta love it. I love guys who are trying to use the conch on our show to impress their wives on how much they love them today.
I'd also like to send out a birthday conch to my wife.
Oh, my God.
Danny.
Oh, boy. Well, you pretty much have to after he did. Like, it would have been a horrible look for you.
I wasn't confession. I wasn't going to, but I
got to get to that.
Happy 60th.
Somebody else, I think, already texted in a happy birthday too. Did you say happy 60th?
Well, that's her bet, so it's always nice to.
All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999.
I know your question was confidence, but Gentleman's Sweep is being sent in quite heavy, both on the Paris Jewelers inbox and the Nasty Chat. I mean, people, just for the purposes of everything that
we'll discuss.
You imagine Gentlemen sweeping your way into the Stanley Cup Finals? I mean, that
God,
you thought the last one was good.
I can't imagine next Gentleman's Sweep show.
I'll wear 2 monocles.
All right, here's the new Doc Holliday song on a Tombstone Tuesday.
He drinks that whiskey right off the shelf, but hadn't yet started to defile himself. Everyone knew Doc was simply the best when he challenged Ike Clanton to a spelling contest. I'm your Huckleberry, Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry, is what he'd say. You're a daisy if you do, had one gun for each of you. Now he leads the Howlute crew. Wyatt Earp was his friend, fought beside him till the end. Shot Johnny Ringo in the head, died of TB laying in his bed. I'm your Huckleberry, Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry, is what he'd say. You're a daisy if you do, had one gun for each of you. Now he leads the Howlute crew. I'm your Huckleberry, Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry, is he'd say, you're a daisy if you do. Had one gun for each of you. Mel Heats leads the Howlud crew.
There you go. That's their Doc Holliday tribute song on a Tombstone Tuesday. Smith TM, Country 95.5.
Well,
I used to work at Country 95.5, Country 95.5 FM down left. Yours is CKSA 1080.
Strummy, this isn't country. This sounds like bare naked ladies.
Like
You ruined it now. I'm never going to be able to.
That's a good one. Anyway, there you go. That's a little ditty we can mix in some Tombstone Tuesdays as we work our way through the summer.
I'd discuss more about it if we only had a podcast so we could maybe break it down and
I mean, we could have definitely done a full thing of that in the old Achy Breaky. Nielson Show original songs brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters.
Involved, eh?
Is that written by Lyle Lovitz? New gear, used gear, trading consign a sport for every season with hockey equipment skates ready to go year round. They are selling, renting, and repairing canoes and kayaks as well. They sell all paddling access at very comp price. Also have kayaks on discount. Staff discounts on kayaks right now. Family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. Visit them at 7430 99th Street or online at www.totemoutfitters.ca. This is a good one. Mumford and Sons sure have changed. That's funny. All right, let's dive back into the fan zone for fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. Looking to get tickets to a Game 3 Sunday afternoon, 1:00 start. American television, you're dead to me.
YouTube, Trev and I were talking earlier as well. Tomorrow 6. Like I'll after the 8:30s and pushing 9:00 through the first 2 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Like I
hate it. I hate the 6:00 start. Tomorrow night, Marshall has a hockey game and also starts at 6:00.
They should be they should all be
Friday night will be fine.
Postponed.
And the same schedule goes for all you nasties. Game 1, Westgate Boston Pizza. Game 2, I might actually tie one on a bit Friday night.
Well, it's Friday night.
Friday night, we're at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. So make plans Friday night to join us at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. Game 3 and 4, obviously home games. I just can't do afternoon playoff hockey. Afternoon game, it just lacks intensity to me. I don't know.
It's American. That's American.
They're catering to American television.
They like the afternoon, and they like getting ripped up like when you have to go to work the next day.
Pisses
they
me
like
off.
to do that whole thing.
I'm already angry about this 1:00 start on Sunday. But anyway, games 3 and 4, if you're looking to get tickets, fansfirst.ca, you will save possibly like $100 a ticket. That one guy last series texting us said, guys, save like $110 a ticket over at Fans First. So it's your most affordable way to get into the playoff action with the Oilers at fansfirst.ca. Game 5 will be at White Ave, Hudson's as well. And then if this thing goes 7, probably back at Boston Pizza Westgate. But yeah. Once again, the Gentleman's Suite show will be happening at what would we call that?
Yeah.
Reed would hate that.
The Reed Wilkins
whatever it is. All right, your predictions for this thing. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, chime in what we like to call the nasty chat. We're 13 likes away from changing 200 as well, so hammer the thumbs up for us. Chris is in and says Dallas Stars in 6.
He's the only person I've seen with an opposite Oilers. He has yet to explain, though, how it gets there. I've asked for an explanation. He's gone silent.
RBM, also not liking the 1:00 start. He says, even give me a 4 p.m. or something. I have my niece's birthday party too that afternoon. Yeah.
Why you guys have
Marshall also has hockey at 4 o'clock on Sunday.
Why? All of this is supposed to be cleared off. Postpone, push it. You know, you can't be going to... I mean, who's going to be watching?
Coach Mike is in and says...
people working at the arena, too.
Well, the 1:00 start. I hate the fact that the Oilers have to now have, and everybody here in Edmonton, because of American television, because there's a basketball game. This is why the NHL is such a joke south of the border. That nobody takes them seriously south of the border. You're getting an afternoon game on a Sunday in a playoff situation. In Edmonton here, of all places. God, it's awful.
Bob said that the NHL was above the NBA.
Bob who? No, I'm serious. Who said that?
Bob who?
No, seriously. Bob who? Bob Stauffer?
Yes.
No, he's wrong. I'm sorry. You're wrong. We could say you can pump up the NHL as much as you want. It's not ahead of the NBA south of the border. Please. My God.
It's getting there, though.
Come on. I mean, there's being ridiculous and there's being really ridiculous.
there.
No, it's not. It's not getting there. I mean,
But it is. It's
the
situations
NHL
like this that
ratings
remind
south
you.
of the
Yeah.
border are awful. They just are. It's pathetic.
Yeah. But again,
So let's put the game at 1 o'clock. They're burying it because they don't want it in prime time.
Yeah.
That's what it is with the National Hockey League down there. Don't tell me the league's great south of the border, please. Coach Mike is in. It says, I'm at an 8. Dallas is all smoke and mirrors. Shut down Rantanen, and this ends in 5.
lots of 8s.
Shut down Rantanen, and this ends in 5. You know what that would mean. Mind you, when is game 5? Would it be middle of next week? Yeah, it would be like next Thursday or something like that.
1, 2, 3,
Sunday,
4,
Tuesday,
5,
Thursday.
29th.
Is that a Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Correct. Yeah.
So we'd get a Friday gentleman sweep show.
Ooh.
Library Patterson says, my confidence level is at an 8 going into round 3. They probably lose one game because Oilers, I mean, they've had a break, right? But after that, they'll get back to pouring it on. Maybe Ottinger steals one. Oilers in 6. The fan zone. That's in from Library Pat. Rush, the beer league goalie, says, I'm about a 6, mainly because of Mikko Rantanen. That man scares the bleep out of me. Nasty Kenny. I'm calling a gentleman's sweep. The Stars will win game 1. The Oilers will win games 2 to 5, only because that will drive Reed nuts. Tabby is in and says, East final, Carolina in 6. West final, Edmonton in 6. 10 out of 10 confidence level. Joel says, don't let it get to game 7. CC will win it for them. Remember Cody CC being labeled as Mr. Game 7?
Mr. Game 7.
Those are
What a name.
Those are good. All right, Morgan, Oilers in 6, Hurricanes in 7.
Did you ask for the Eastern Conference?
I didn't ask for Eastern Conference yet. I mean, we'll get to it at some point.
Rob from the Grove asks, so the Oilers game Saturday starts at 1. Will they have live people calling the game?
I don't know. We'll have to see. They might be doing it yeah, exactly. The NHL's ahead of the NBA south of the border. Come on.
Not my
They got people in the playoffs hiding in a booth in Atlanta to call hockey games. They don't take the league seriously as much as everyone wants to get all hard over it, but they don't take the league seriously. Sorry. All right, keep the chats rolling in over on YouTube as well. Chev, changing 200. Hit that, and then I want to hear your confidence level right now.
Changing 200.
All right, there we go. 200. Hammer the thumbs up for us. Lots of you watching. Button on the way. We'll get his thoughts on how Rantanen may change things this year. Trev, where's your confidence level at with your mighty Oil heading into this Western Conference final?
I am pretty confident. I'm pretty confident.
7 out of 10?
I'd say 7, 8. Yeah, right.
Oh,
around
8.
there.
Okay, you
Yeah.
said it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just
like it.
I like their chances. I feel like the team's they're coming in hot. Everything seems to be going their way. The only team in the NHL I fear right now, from an Oilers perspective, is the Florida Panthers.
I was gonna say you can't say Carolina.
No.
I'm expecting, like, I know there's a bunch of people texting in saying Carolina's coming out of the East.
They could come out of the East.
I think Florida beats them into submission, but
I agree. It's really looking like it's going to be a rematch of last year, which is kind of that's the only thing. Like the Oilers, I'm not scared for them getting past the Dallas Stars. I think they can do it. On paper, the Stars, you could argue they are the deepest team in the league, but I mean, right now, as far as depth goes, the Oilers' depth guys have really showed up. They do have Mikko Rantanen, which is obviously he's a game changer leading the league in scoring right now, but I mean, you cancel that out with either one of Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, and you got Jake Ottinger, who's really hot. Well, the Oilers got 2 goalies that are really hot. So, and I also think that the Stars, I wouldn't say they just got by the Winnipeg Jets, but the Winnipeg Jets made a series out of it, and I don't think that was the best Winnipeg Jets. Like regular season Jets, I thought, hands down, were way better than what they were showing in the playoffs. and they almost got by the Stars.
Yeah,
I'd
good
say.
point. Yeah, good point.
And so I don't know. From looking at it like that, I just feel like the Oilers. I've watched every team in the playoffs this year, and I've yet to see a team dominate like the Oilers have. So I'm pretty confident.
This guy's feeling good about it. I'm so excited for you, Trev.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. Yeah, I'm really.
Trev is also very excited.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Your thoughts on it? 780-218-9999. Hit us up in the Paris Jewelers inbox. We'll dive into this thing a little bit more. We'll take a look back at last year's series as well when we get fired up because we get to see the Oilers and the Stars go at it once again. Remember, Rupe Hintz missed a couple of games last year. He missed the first 2 games of that series. He ended up only having 2 points in 4 games. Draisaitl only had 4 points in 6 games last year. McDavid had a really nice series. I think he had like 10 points in that series. But we'll dial it back a little bit there. Running back to last year, we have weekly confessions coming up. Craig Button's going to join us just after 7 o'clock this morning. Of course, portions of this hour brought to you by our partners over at Alley Cat. If you've not picked up the 6 o'clock lager yet, selling like hotcakes. It's on special at Sobeys and Safeway Liquor throughout the playoffs. Go pick up a 4-pack today. I think somebody tweeted us over the weekend and said, God, hadn't had one of these in a while. I forgot how good a beer it is.
Yeah. And
it
price
really
points
is. I mean,
yeah,
it's absolutely tremendous stuff. And of course, couldn't do it without the great team at Alley Cat, who, not only make the 6 o'clock lager, but make some of my other favorite beers as well. And they're churning out new product all the time over there at Alley Cat as well. All right, should we get into the good, bad, and ugly from the long weekend? Always a long weekend, good, bad, and ugly. Maybe a little bit better because it's a little bit of an extended opportunity for more good things to happen, more bad things to happen, and more ugly things to happen from over the weekend. Brought to you by the 780, where you can get the most popular radio shirt in the city. Can I get a when ya?
When you
want to get your hands on, so the location I was at, more on this during confessions, but the location of 780 I was at over the weekend, I walked in there and picking up a shirt, and the one guy goes, "You're the Dustin Nielson." I was like, I was like, come on, man. Like, I'm not the Dustin Nielson. I'm just Dustin Nielson. But he was really nice. Very excited guy. He's like, your shirts are flying here. I said, well, that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. So if
you're one of those Dustin Nielsons, aren't you?
You're a Dustin Nielson. Yes,
you're one of those.
No, I'm not that guy. He's the other guy. I'm not that guy, pal. Londonderry, Southgate, Outlet Mall by the airport, St. Albert Center, Kingsway. Those are your 5, 7, 80 locations. I think Adore is on vacation right now himself. But I'm going to tell him as soon as he gets back from vacation, you got to start churning those shirts out again. I need more of them. All right, what's your good from the weekend, man?
Well, it's got to be one thing and one thing only, and that's some TS Ekholm skating.
That's pretty good news, isn't it?
Although, and I was waiting for this point to roll into the Paris Jewelers inbox this morning, and I forget, was it RBM? Yeah. Dude, who out of the decor do you take out? I said he's going to have to earn his time back based on how this blue line has been playing, right? Like, but no, it's obviously good.
Stetcher comes out.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, I regardless of his status physically, I think you saw Knobloch speaking yesterday, Draisaitl. It just gives a lift and a boon to them. Whether or not they need it anymore, but a little more juice injected into that team. The chatter around the rink. So good to see it. And I think, again, from what we knew, perhaps ahead of, like, this was not a good thing, obviously, that he was dealing with. And to see him back maybe so soon just gives people a bit of a lift in spirit. It's to get a guy of his caliber back at this stage of the Stanley Cup playoffs to how good you've already been playing. I mean, that's just positive mojo all around. So seeing him back on the ice, not only for the person, but I think for the team, is a good with a capital GOO.
And you can text in your good, bads, and uglies from the weekend as well. 780-218-9999. My good from the weekend was Elks Fan Day. Just a tremendous time out in Emerald Hills in Sherwood Park. I was not aware of this facility.
Home of the Wildcats.
Awesome little spot. And just a great time. It's just the Canadian Football League, the accessibility that fans have to that league is unlike anything else. We popped in, we got there for about the last 15 minutes of the scrimmage. Scrimmage ended with Trey Ford on a 50-yard deep shot to Alexander Hollins in the end zone. CFL Fantasy Draft this Sunday night for me. Hollins, I don't want to give away too much.
This Sunday?
Ours is this Sunday night.
Yeah, we're still going over dates.
You still haven't even locked in a draft date?
That's okay. It doesn't matter.
Bush.
No, we want to wait until rosters get to a
See, that's
point
why
where
we've decided we'll do the draft on the 26th. We're going to do 4 extra rounds, and we'll cut those guys right before the draft.
It's a lot of fat on the bone there.
It's a very in-depth, better league. Anyway, Elks Fan Day was great. So we caught the last 15 minutes. We had a great broadcast from there. Glue Guy and Maddie talked to about 40% of the team. They went for 2 hours. Yeah, it's almost at 1,000 views over on YouTube. You want to check it out. But then the players, every single player, went around the entire fence and signed for everybody. Trey Ford was signing autographs for like an hour and a half. And they didn't just like sign. They'd stand there. They'd talk with you. My kids were in heaven. They were great. Marshall's like, Daddy, I got a picture with Cody Fajardo. I was like, I know, man. Yeah. And then Fajardo after just got to stand it out like with everybody else, just BSing with people. Yeah. Tammy loves it. Tammy walks away. We're walking back out to the truck. She's like, it's so good.
It's
like,
the working man's league.
If you're not getting your fans out there, get your kids out to those events, man. Like it's so good for kids. Yeah. Marshall and the Muzz had the time of their life out there. Free, going out. I mean, it was so good. Well, shout out to the Double E and everything they did. It was awesome. You're bad from the weekend.
Bad from the weekend. I'll have to go with the Leafs. Yes,
the Leafs are also my bad.
It could have been ugly. Yeah. But I do also like somebody in the Paris Jewelers inbox saying, which Panthers idea was it to bomb Game 6 in order to go home? And like, honest to God, with the Panthers and how good they are, you could see them doing that and being like, hey, you know what would be really, and it's got to be Brad Marchand in that case.
You know what would be hilarious? Let's take them back to Toronto, beat them, and then talk about how their fans are so hard on them.
They're a team that I could see doing that, you know. And Paul Maurice, he's a sneaky bugger, but no, that was bad. And again, as I said, I went out, I was at the Wood during the game. Leafs fans draped around me, and it was pretty funny, but it was bad to see. You brought up the numbers too. Like, it wasn't even a contest for a game 7. Like,
at one point, I think shots attempted were 27-0.
Yeah. So then they did get that brief glimmer of they got within 2, and then a Panther answer right back before you could blink. So yeah, that was a bad night for Leafs Nation.
Yeah, my bad from the weekend. Obviously, the Toronto Maple Leafs says as well. I mean, it's just like when I'm almost feeling bad for Leafs fans, you know it's an ugly situation.
Yeah,
it's just
because I still don't.
Yeah, like I watched their reaction. The jerseys being tossed again. I sit there and go, this has to be the worst fan base in the National Hockey League. But then I go, they haven't won anything in 58 years. I can see why you would be so frustrated.
You understand.
Yeah, you kind of like no success. Not a glimmer of success. So
where's Drake?
Well, Drake bet $1 million on him.
Big Pappy. Yeah, I know, but he should have been Bieber's there. Like, I think all hands on deck.
I think I
Game
saw.
7.
Didn't Drake bet $1 million on Game 7?
Yeah, but where was he? Hiding in his OVO compound?
Nobody knows. Kendrick Lamar probably still has him jammed in his trunk. Hasn't let him out yet since the Super Bowl halftime show.
Shirt still smoking.
All right, and you're ugly from the weekend.
Well, it's a series we haven't got to yet, and that's the Jets. Bounced.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're talking the Stars, but the Jets losing in that fashion with Scheifele in the box.
Well, and that was my ugly here. The whole situation for poor Mark Scheifele. A conch to Scheifele and his family, losing his dad the night before the game. Just...
Who was around the team. Like he like a Hellebuck's dad. Like they kind of, they were there and doing stuff.
I can't. When I saw the news, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy.
When you saw he's in the box, though. That's when you're like, it can't be.
It was... So he loses his dad. He decides to play because that's what his dad would have wanted. He scores the first goal, and you're like, this is Mark Scheifele's
redemption.
Night.
Yeah.
And then, a puck gets blocked at the blue line. He takes the penalty, and then they score on the power play at the beginning of overtime. I don't know how you could be just not even like a hockey fan or a sport, but a human, and not look at that situation and just be heartbroken for that dude.
The whole handshake line, them waiting for him to finish. He leads them off the ice. Stars fans, I think, knowingly applauding. But yeah, that was tough. And Friedman had to call it in the third intermission there. Like it was. You're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just? As a referee, as an official in that moment, just say a different number. Just try to avoid that scenario and that narrative. But that was ugly. That's got to be the ugly from the weekend.
This texter says, guys, my ugly is Jack and Louie not getting to call the conference final. Yeah, I mean, we can touch. I mean, it was never going to happen. You should probably be grateful that you got to hear them in the second round.
Well, for 2 rounds,
it's just, nobody gets your local regional broadcast for multiple playoff rounds, but the Oilers did. That's just how it works. I tweeted out, I said, yeah, cool, Gene gets a jump up to the A crew with Cuthbert this round. And everybody was just replying, like freaking out that it's not going to be Jack. I get it. Oilers fans, you obviously want Jack to call your games. But the rest of Western Canada probably doesn't want Jack to call the games. I mean, Oilers fans want their Homer crew on the call. I get it. But the people who were trashing Chris Cuthbert in the reply to my tweet, I had to stay off my phone all day because it was infuriating me. Chris Cuthbert is the best play-by-play hockey guy in this country. Undoubtedly. End of story. You get to hear him call your games. And yes, he might not be, the home broadcast for the Oilers, but this just in, when you play on this level, the conference finals, you get the A team nationally. And that is Chris Cuthbert. So do not bring any Chris Cuthbert slander to this show, because I will not stand for it. I mean, Cuthbert is one of the greatest of all time. Okay? I don't get it. I don't understand it for the life of me. You're getting one of the best play-by-play guy of this generation to call your next series, and you're all freaking out. You're not going to get your home broadcast in the conference final. End of story. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works.
CB radio guy echoes what I was thinking. The real joke is Mooner not calling now, and pouring out for the old Moon Man because he gets the bump.
Mooner calls all season, gets 2 rounds, and now doesn't get to call anything. Like, that sucks for Cam Moon. That's the ugly. Mooner doesn't get to call anything.
And nobody talks about it. Nobody's like, oh, this and that and the other. But yeah, have a little spare a thought if you can.
Barry the Cheater says, Cuthbert is really good, but I like my Jack and Lou. Of course you do. They're your home crew.
Yeah, but don't rag on other people for liking their homers. Like that's
homerism's
always good in your own.
We sit here and bitch about Jack Edwards forever.
Oh my God.
And now you're sitting here going, well, I really want my home crew. You don't get your home crew. Most people don't get your home crew on a second round series. You got it. You should be very grateful to Sportsnet for giving you your home crew for the second round series. But the Edmonton Oilers are the biggest ratings draw in the country right now. So the best play-by-play guy in the country gets put on that game. That's how it works. And it was infuriating me. See, I get you love Louie and Jack.
No,
you want them on the game.
Wrong with that. Yeah.
But some people say, Cuthbert, Cuthbert's the best. End of story. Move on. Conch for Cuthbert.
And Cam Moon.
Well, and a conch for Mooner, too, who's a listener. For goodness sakes. I hate how Mooner calls all year in the radio and he gets bumped now. It makes no sense. All right, Craig Button, speaking of one of the best, Button's going to join us coming up next. We'll start with the Oilers and Stars. How much does Rantanen change things this year? Stuart Skinner was amazing against Dallas last year. Can he do that again? And Matthias Ekholm return, possibly looming here at some point. And then we'll get Craig's thoughts on how do you dismantle the Toronto Maple Leafs outside of the dismantling they've already done to themselves. We'll get into that with
the leaves, like just kind of
just one at a time. There goes Marner. There goes Tavares. What else is going to have? There's Domi and his bad penalties. Weekly confessions coming up. Fired up for Jimco. Play Alberta early bird bet of the day. But Craig Button for Pro Am Sports will kick it all off in hour number 2. That is on the way. Next, let's get to a sports update with LTE.
Matthias Ekholm participating in his first full skate of the 2025 playoffs yesterday ahead of tomorrow's Game 1 in Dallas between the Oilers and Stars. Ekholm officially listed as day-to-day. Conference finals get underway tonight from Raleigh. Game 1 between the Hurricanes and Panthers. Sticking with hockey. World Hockey Championships, Eli Tolvanen scored the shootout winner as Finland would edge Canada 2-1, handing Canada its first loss at the tournament. Canada will now take on Group A leaders Sweden later on today. Game 1 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tonight from Oklahoma City between the Thunder and Timberwolves. Jays are back on the diamond tonight after dropping 2 of 3 to the Tigers over the weekend. They'll get set to host the Padres to kick off a 3-game set. First pitch, 5:07. Over to football, CFL preseason schedule getting underway yesterday from Langford, BC. Is the Stampeders over the Lions 26-16. And over to the NFL, a vote on whether to allow NFL players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics is expected to pass later today at league meetings in Minneapolis. Up next, TSN's Craig Button to kick off hour number 2 here on the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
First thing we fire Woody, and then we hire Knob Block. Bring in Paul Coffee, then goes against a stop. Illusions that someday we'd be in the fight. Now it's playoffs, and this is game night. That's when it dawned upon them that this is a serious team, and there ain't no doubt tonight we'll shut them out. Oilers will hoist Lord Stanley. Oilers will hoist Lord Stanley. Oilers will hoist Lord Stanley. This is game night.
Oh, Dallas from Nelson, you're on the clock, buddy. Did he not say? Was he on the post game saying that he's got something cooking?
He's such a tease, eh?
Well, enough's enough. Enough's enough. Bang out a new track. Send it our way. Dallas from Nelson. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. The Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. And, of course, Edmonton Sports Talk today and every day. And we'll get to your Play Alberta early bird bet of the day coming up. But Edmonton Sports Talk, title sponsor, Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app. Hundreds of player props for the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun, you're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund Alberta programs and services. Deposit today with the code YAG50 and get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started. Use the code YAG50. Minimum deposit of $5 and you'll get a $50 free bet. No complaints on that one. And we'll have new codes for you starting in June, which is also exciting. Speaking of exciting, Jack Cookson from Pro-Am firing us over his liners today also says we will be open Sunday morning, May 25th for game 3 from 9 until 1. We want to make sure we look after out-of-town oil country fans who are coming into town for the game. Brilliant move. Genius idea from the guys over at Pro-Am. So Sunday morning, if you're coming into town for the game, you want to gear up for game day with Pro-Am, they will be open from 9 until 1 this Sunday. So you can go in, get your gear, and then head on down to the rink for the afternoon affair.
The matinee, if you will.
The matinee start. All right. Craig Button is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Gear up for game day with crested, ready-to-wear name and number Fanatics premium jerseys. Headwear from New Era 47 and Fanatics by visiting Pro-Am today. Pro-Am will be open Sunday morning from 9 until 1, located in Edmonton on the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. All right, let's bring in Craig Button this morning. If you are watching over on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Just sub to us on YouTube, and let's discuss this series here. We're going to get to the Leafs fallout in a second, Craig, and there's lots to discuss there, but the Oilers and Stars will get underway tomorrow. We saw what happened last year. The Edmonton won game 1, lost games 2 and 3, and then took the next 3 to eliminate the Stars in 6 games. So let's just start here. How much does Mikko Rantanen change things, and how do the Oilers have to approach him?
Oh, I mean, Mikko Rantanen is a big-time difference maker. There's no question. You have to make sure you're aware of him on the ice. And he's a player that is not going to shrink versus the challenges. I mean, he's shown that over his playoff career. This isn't just about this playoffs. He's done it time and time again. He's a big-time player. That line is really good. Granlund, Hintz, and Rantanen are really good. And I like what Peter DeBoer did going 11-7 because – you know, your seventh defenseman, whether he sits in the stands or plays 5 minutes in a game, depending on what unfolds, gives him the opportunity to double shift Rantanen. And that's what he did. He put Rantanen up because Rantanen's a horse. Rantanen can play a lot of minutes. So what are you better off having? Are you better off having the opportunity to double shift Rantanen than a 12th forward? I think they are because he can handle it. So that's just one area of their team. I think the other area that Dallas benefits from is you have Heiskanen back, and Heiskanen's healthy and ready to go, and Harley. And so now you're playing against, you have one of those guys out against McDavid or Draisaitl, which I think helps. I think that's something that, and it's different this year with Harley. Harley's gone to another level in his game. So I think those two things, I think are a little bit different now for the Dallas Stars as opposed to last year versus the Edmonton Oilers in the conference final.
Craig, I know you've spoke about your admiration of Knobloch and how he can kind of tweak things, within a series, within a game. Which way would you go, or do you think he will go in terms of shutting down a Rantanen? Is this a system? Is it a player? Is it a collection of a line? Maybe a simple answer of goaltending. But how do you see, if the Oilers are going to, how do you see them shutting down Mikko Rantanen?
Well, what I would say is just go and look at what he did against Jack Eichel in the Vegas Golden Knights. And when you start to watch how the team plays defense and their defensive play, I don't think they have to change anything. I think they just have to understand, okay, this is how Dallas is going to attack. The teams don't have vastly different offensive sets, so to speak. I'm using a football term, Dustin, as you're getting ready for the CFL. But it's about making sure that you're putting players into positions where they're not allowed to roam freely. They're not allowed to move into those dangerous spots. And if they do get there, you're ready to close them off. And when I watch the Edmonton Oilers play defensive hockey, it's really strong. It's really, really good. We've seen it for 2 seasons under Chris Knobloch. Yes, there's going to be times when it kind of doesn't look the same, and they might not be as good as when they're on top of it, but they're on top of it now. And I think that's what it comes down to. When you look at their ability to what I call suffocate the opponent, that's not one player. This idea of one player is going to shadow, it's about, okay, we're going to funnel a player, and then the next player is going to close them off, and then we're going to try to get the puck. And in the defensive zone, the Edmonton Oilers are so strong in 2 areas. And well, I'm going to go 3 areas. Number one, they keep you outside, and they do not let you come inside into that slot area. It's really hard to get in there. The second thing that they do exceptionally well is they rotate. It's not about one player, and if he gets free, it comes there. They're able to rotate and push players in the positions where they can either get the puck out or transition. And the number 3, they're quick to get the puck out of the zone. Those defensemen move that puck incredibly quick, and their team does to get moving the other way. So you put those three things together, that is a template for really good, strong defensive play. And you keep the pressure off your goaltender. Nobody's going to sit here and go, geez, Edmonton is even in the goaltending department. Ottinger's a better goaltender, full stop. But if you play really good defense and you get goaltending that's at the level of their capabilities, you're going to win. Yep. And that's what it is right now for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, Skinner had a .922 save percentage in the 6 games against Dallas last year, so he was outstanding. You get that type of goaltending again, you'll probably be okay. You saw Winnipeg in that series against St. Louis, and everybody was hitting everything that moves, and it was a different series against Dallas. The Oilers are coming in after series against the Kings and Vegas, a Vegas series that was very physical. Zach Hyman having games 12, 13 hits. Obviously, Evander Kane getting involved, Frederick getting involved. Do you expect this Dallas series to be much of a physical one, Craig, or is this a little bit of a different beast?
No, I think it'll be physical. I think that the way Edmonton approached the series, I mean, it was a hard series versus LA, and it was hard versus Vegas, and you want to make it as hard as possible on your opponent. I think that goes without saying, and I think Edmonton can do that. But Dallas is up for the challenge. I mean, they can play heavy and they can play hard, and they're willing to engage in those areas, and they will. And the thing is that if you think you're going to, I don't think physical play is like people go, oh, we're going to just play physical and wear you down and take chunks out of you. Yeah, the game is hard, and it's. I think it's more about the competitive attention that. You're fighting for every inch of space. You're fighting for everything out there. So the game, the friction increases in the game. And I think when you're got a chance to win a series and go to the Stanley Cup, I think that friction increases and it becomes more intense.
We talked about the 11-7 on the back end for Dallas, and I look at Dallas's blue line, and Harley, you mentioned, is taking a step this year. Heiskanen's coming back, but obviously he's good. I love Esa Lindell. But what about Lyubushkin, Ceci, Bichel, Petrovic? I mean, those guys that the Oilers forwards can get to and cause some major issues, or do you think that second half of the Stars blue line holds up okay?
Well, that's what the Dallas Stars have to hope for. Getting Heiskanen back it's not just that Heiskanen plays 25 minutes. He takes 25 hard minutes. So that means that you don't have to find players to fill in those 25 minutes. Hey, if I'm looking and scouting the Dallas Stars, the soft underbelly of their team is that right side D. Yeah. That's exactly where I'm trying to attack. And, I can sit here and say, hey, they held up and they've done pretty good. Their goaltender's been really good. Their defensive play in Dallas, these playoffs, hasn't been all that great. Their goaltender has been great. Their goaltender has covered up some of their defensive woes. Now, Heiskanen was out for a stretch of that, and that's going to contribute to it. But if you're the Edmonton Oilers, that's definitely an area that you want to look to try to, widen it up. If that's an area that you think you can get through, open up that area and try to exploit it.
How big a boost do you think it would be to get Ekholm back if he does play? Skated with the main group yesterday, not going to play in the first couple of games, but this is an Oilers team who's got through 2 rounds without him, and the blue line's held up relatively well. You throw him back in the mix here, and my goodness, I mean, no matter what you get from him, probably be pretty positive.
Yeah, I mean, how big of a boost? Yeah,
it depends. Even if he's 70%, you think? What do you need from Ekholm?
Hey, listen, the opportunity to have Matthias Ekholm at 50% is a great addition. And he to the Edmonton Oilers defense is what Heiskanen is to the Dallas Stars defense returning. You lessen the minutes that the other players have to fill in that are demanding. Remember, when Ekholm goes out, it's not like, just go play those minutes. Those are hard minutes that Ekholm plays and manages and masters. And so to me, getting him back at 70%, 80%, that's significant. That's a real significant addition back into your lineup.
Let's get a quick thought on the other series, which gets going here right away. Carolina, Florida. Florida coming in after a Game 7 victory in Toronto against the Leafs. These two teams have recently met in this same spot as well in a Florida sweep. Is it different this time around with that Carolina group?
Okay, so let's go back to that sweep. It was a 4 overtime game, an overtime game, and 5 seconds left in the game that Florida ended up on. That series was really close. That series was closer than it looked like with the 4-game sweep. The Carolina Hurricanes are playing really strong hockey, and we know how they play. Everybody knows how they play, and they're committed to it. And I think where Florida has an advantage is with their third line or their second line. I just think when you get 3 lines deep with Florida, I think that might be a challenge for the Carolina Hurricanes. And can they hold up? Yeah, they can hold up. Do I think that this series is going to be a sweep? Not at all. Do I think that Carolina could win the series? Yeah, I do. I think they could. If they can find a way to make sure that they don't become vulnerable playing against those top 3 lines, and right now I'm not so sure they can, but if they can, they have every bit as good opportunity to advance as the Florida Panthers, in my view.
Craig, we sometimes take sick pleasure here in watching the Maple Leafs not succeed, of course, with the fan base here, the rivalry, Western, Eastern Canada, all that. But where do they go from here? We discussed earlier, you're a decade plus now with the Shanna plan. Marner's yelling at guys with bone dry hair. Austin Matthews failing to produce, albeit, I mean, you could argue injured, but whatever, lots of people are. Just a myriad of issues. And then the Panthers taking a full clawed swipe at the fan base. Like, where do you see this thing going now moving forward in terms of players, management? I don't know if anybody's safe, really.
I like your term, full clawed.
They had
after the fan base. That was good. That was really well done. Well done, Eric. I first of all, I think Maurice, Marchand, and Tkachuk were just trolling. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, imagine you're asking the Florida Panthers players about the Toronto Maple Leafs after you just dusted them. Like, okay, what are they going to say? Yeah, we have no respect for them. Yeah, we whipped their asses. The Toronto Maple Leafs scored 4 goals in the last 4 games of the series. 4 goals. Okay, and wait a second. Last year, the year before that. Here's what I said last night on Jay, and I firmly believe it. The Shanna plan started out with him trying to change, the environment around there, and he came in and he made changes, and then the next thing was acquire talent. They ended up getting some really good players, and certainly trying to get Austin Matthews. They accomplished that, and then they decided. And this was Shanahan full signed off on this with Kyle Dubas. They wanted to be an artistic team. They thought that they were going to change the template of success in the NHL. There was a hubris to it and an arrogance. And more than that, an unfounded arrogance, because Kyle Dubas had won nothing. And who put him in place? Brendan Shanahan. So if you want to change the entire template of success in the National Hockey League with your experiment, go ahead. I'll be ready to applaud you if you can do it. But there has never been any evidence. You can go all the way back in time. There are certain fundamentals in the game and in the sport of hockey that when it becomes hard in the playoffs that aren't changing. And he thought that I could have wide receivers be my offensive line. I could have DBs form my linebacker core. And he wanted to be an artist. He thought being artistic was the way that they were going to. He was going to show everybody. And don't take my word for it. I quote, I'll bet my career on it. Well, guess what? In the Toronto market, the biggest market in the planet for hockey, you went with an experiment? Are you kidding me? Like, give me a break. It's been a spectacular failure. And unless somebody in Toronto comes out and says, we're happy being an artistic team and having regular season success, and it doesn't really matter what happens in the playoffs, we'll take our chances, that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that the playoffs matter, and that's right from Brendan Shanahan. To continue along this path, and remember, these players have been conditioned to play that way. That's how they were conditioned under Dubas and Keefe. And so now you're playing in the playoffs, and now it's hard. Brad Treliving has some work to do, and my view is nothing should be off the table. Everything should be considered.
What do you think about Marner's value heading into unrestricted free agency? I still feel, that free agency window is such a wild time. He's going to get paid, but has he taken a bit of a blow here over the last little while?
I don't think he should. I think Mitch Marner's an excellent player. I think he's amongst the best players in the National Hockey League. He's proven that time and time again. I don't think this is about Mitch Marner or John Tavares. I think this was about a philosophy that failed. Like when you go in and you say this is the way we're going to play, and that's, remember that they were all young players. They conditioned them that way to play that way, and then they got the comeuppance. They go, wait, we can't play that way. We can. Oh boy, this is hard. You can't. We know that the regular season is different than the playoffs. But Kyle Dubas, I quote, "I'll bet my career on it." You're betting your career on an experiment that had no legs, and he was cheerleaded. He was cheerleaded for it and allowed to do it. So when you start to look at what Brad Treliving has in front of him, I don't think it's about Mitch Marner or John Tavares. It's about what do we do to make our team better. I said this last night on Jay. The Florida Panthers in 2022 won the President's Trophy. They lost the second round in a 4-game sweep to Tampa Bay and scored 3 goals. Bill Zito said enough. Bill Zito said enough. He made significant changes, and in that time, and still with series to play, they won 9 playoff rounds. Because Bill Zito said, that's not the way we're doing it. And until Toronto says we're not doing it this other way, it's not going to change. When they show you who they are and what they are, believe them.
Great stuff, Craig, as always, man. Love you bringing that fire. We'll do it again next week.
Yeah, we will. It's going to be a good series.
Oh, can't wait, man. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. There you go. That's Craig Button, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. The guys at Pro-Am will be open on Sunday morning for all you fans coming in for the game. They'll be open from 9 until 1, even all you local fans. If you want to pop on over to Pro-Am and then head down to the rink, that'll work out pretty well for you as well. You can check out everything they have for you online at proamsports.ca. Pat in the county says, pure fire from Craig. Speak the truth. Big Slam Nasty says Button sees his segment on the Nielson Show as a therapy session.
We should almost have him laying down. I'd like if he joined us laying down on a couch, on a short couch,
wider shot on a couch,
and just head on his forehead, just going off.
Craig, how are you today? Do you want to talk about that, Craig? We don't have to talk about that, but do you want to talk about that?
Pass the Kleenex box.
That's. I mean, he's right about the Leafs, though.
Well, an experiment in that market.
It's time for a significant change, man. You've ran it back over and over and over again with the same group, with the same core.
And I have time for experimenting, but you do that in a Disney-like market, hey? Like you do that in a market where, I mean...
Go experiment in Nashville.
Sure.
Hell, they did this year by bringing in all those guys. It backfired. And but you think anybody in Nashville gives two, you know what?
Nobody cares.
None at all whatsoever.
Hockey team. We got a hockey team here. See, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. We got Nashville Predators. Nashville Predators are here. Steven Stamkos is here. Steven who? They don't care.
That's where you experiment. You can do all kinds of weird, wacky things.
Stan, the Jets fan, is in and says, I've always what a wild Leafs comparison here. I've always compared the Leafs to the Peyton Manning Colts, with Manning, Harrison, and Sanders all making that money. 1 title in 13 years. You cannot have 4 people making all the money. Well, I think you can if they're the right people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're sitting here talking about, the Leafs failed because their depth let them down. The Leafs failed because Marner and Matthews don't have what it takes to play playoff hockey. They are insanely talented. And the NHL regular season is compared to years past like a glorified game of shinny now. I mean, the skill level and the speed that these guys compete with is insane in the regular season, but the playoffs is still a different beast. And those two guys don't have what it takes to get it done in the postseason. Now, one of them can walk away for nothing. The other one, when Craig says nothing's off the table, I would agree to the fact where I would even see what I could do with Austin Matthews.
Yes.
Because you could get a haul for him. Some team that has the guy who's going to drag you in and through the fight might be sitting there going, you know what, we'll go compliment this guy really well? This dude is a walking 50-goal season. Go get him. So, I mean, everything should, when you continuously fail, nobody could be safe. All the way up to the top. 780-218-9999.
And I think in keeping somebody safe when they shouldn't be, just continues this type of right?
Yeah. Well, then
then you feel, exactly. It's that mentality.
Tell me why Austin Matthews cares about what happened.
Well, he does all the commercials. He's
going to come back.
He'll be fine.
Be a star
He'll be
again.
all fine. He'll score a lot of goals.
50,
yeah.
And then they'll lose again in the playoffs next year. I mean,
I wonder who that Colts comparison. I want to see who the Patriots are to him. Like, is that kind of is it the Bruins, Panthers, Lightning?
I don't know. It's probably the Panthers. Martin says, give Button the golden mic for spitting that heat. Remember that golden mic, that old golden mic? I think it's sitting right there in the cupboard. I should have had it out. That would have been a golden mic moment.
Box it up with a scarf and send it to him in a hat.
That would have been a golden mic moment right there. All right, your thoughts on, I don't know, everything. 780-218-9999. That blue line in Dallas falls off a bit, eh? Like, I think the Oilers could cause major problems. Cody Cece's playing 21 minutes a night for the Dallas Stars. Now, that'll come down a bit as they ramp up Heiskanen a little bit. And nothing against Cody Cece. I liked Cody Cece when he was here. But come on. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers, they're rolling 11-7. The bottom 4 guys, I'm not even sure you really... Bottom 3 guys for sure, the Oilers would absolutely torch. Other teams have torched them. So I think that's a positive. And as you pointed out on Twitter earlier this morning, Wyatt Johnston is minus 13 in 13 games. And I like him as a player, but he somehow is minus 13 in 13 games.
I know those stats, you can take them with however many pinches of salt you want.
Yeah, but that's a bad one.
They have 3 players at +1. Rantanen, Granlund, and one of the defensemen there in Bischel.
That's it.
And
everybody else is
just
minus.
A couple zeros, and then the rest are all minuses. So I don't know how you slice and dice through all that, but it is kind of, especially with Jake Wollman.
You slice and dice and say 5-on-5. They've been getting it handed to them.
And where the Oilers have been
Jamie
playing quite
Benn's
good.
-6, Duchesne's -9, Labushkin's -7, Johnston's -13, Thomas Harley -5, plays 26.5 minutes a night for these guys. So the Dallas Stars are there for the taking. You heard Button say, defensively in these playoffs, the Stars haven't been good. Ottinger's been good. Well, guess what the Oilers do? The Oilers get to goalies. And we'll get to our official predictions from us probably tomorrow morning on the show.
Stiffest test of this as of yet, though, with these goaltenders. Would you not agree? Like, how would you rank in terms of a Kemper, a Hill, and an Ottinger going into the Stanley Cup playoffs? Would you put Ottinger at
I for a long time I was kind of an Ottinger stan, I think they say.
Yeah.
So I'd probably still have him slightly above Kemper and then Hill. But the Oilers torched Kemper and Hill. And I think last year's series, we'll get to it with Fired Up for Jemko around 7:45. I think Ottinger had like a 901 last year in this series specifically. I don't know. Ottinger can be great, but I think the Oilers can get to him.
JCD 780 says they have Heiskanen, we have Klingberg.
Yeah, well,
Klingberg's revenge.
I mean, I do like Heiskanen. Heiskanen is only playing about 19 right now as they kind of get him back up to speed. All right, let's get into your early bird bet of the day. A little NBA, NHL parlay for you tonight as conference finals get rolling. If you've not yet used our bonus codes over at Play Alberta, you're just missing out on free bets. Simple as that. Deposit $20 at playalberta.ca or on their app, and you get a $100 free bet. Just use the code 100sports. This is for new players or existing players. If you've had an account and you haven't been in there in a while, or you had an account you're in all the time, you haven't used the code yet. New or existing players, deposit $20, use the code 100sports. You will get a $100 free bet on sports. Simple as that. Play Alberta is your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casinos, live dealer action, lottery, instant sports betting. They got it all with the Play Alberta app. You can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca. These boys move quick. I sent them this when I was when we were chatting with Button. Here's what we've got tonight. I do like Florida in this series, but if Carolina's going to get one, it's got to be tonight, man. Like, Florida's coming in off this Game 7. You could say they built that momentum.
Yep.
But Button pointed out how close the series was last year, even though it was a sweep, couple overtime games, a late game. Go ahead, Trev. Hit it, buddy.
Changing 100.
That's changing 300. Let's keep hammering the thumbs up. We could be at 400 by the time this guy's done his update.
Oh, we will be.
Carolina to win tonight at home. Minnesota Timberwolves +7 points on the road. T-Wolves +7. Hurricanes to take game 1 +260. If Carolina can't get game 1, what are we even doing here?
I'm more interested in the Timberwolves. And plus, you want to show your work on that. And please,
I mean, I never hate the T-Wolves outright because they've only lost 2 playoff games the entire time
They're
so far.
Sexy as hell.
But Timberwolves +7, daddy likes. Timberwolves +7, Hurricanes to win. It's boosted up to 260 from plus 242. If you're going to play it normally, you'll get it at plus 260. Timberwolves plus 7, Hurricanes to win plus 260. It's on the EST specials page, playalberta.ca. Then just click EST specials. That's our first of probably what will be 5 bets that are locked and loaded in there before tip off and puck drop later on tonight. The next one that'll be coming will be Dusty's social media play of the day as well. All right, we got weekly confessions coming up for Spectrum Rental. Then we'll get into Fired Up. We'll take a look back at last year's series. What can we take away from that series that you could take moving into this series? For a large part, these teams are very similar. But Mikko Rantanen is a big X factor in this thing for the Dallas Stars. Is he the piece that puts them over the edge? Would you just throw Draisaitl up? He's not a center. He plays on the wing, but still you could get that Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Kapanen line out there against them and let it go from there. But that finish line with Granlund, Rantanen, and Rupe Hintz could be a handful one way or the other.
It's got a special place in your heart, I'm sure.
I hate to say it, but I do have a soft spot for the Finns. I find myself in a predicament. All right, let's get to sports update for the great staff at Park Mazda. Weekly confessions on the other side for Spectrum Rental. What do you need to confess? Text us, 780-218-9999. We will get to those coming up next. Here's the update.
Matthias Ekholm participated in his first full skate of the 2025 playoffs yesterday ahead of tomorrow's Game 1 down in Dallas between the Oilers and Stars. Ekholm officially listed as day-to-day. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight from Raleigh between the Hurricanes and Panthers. That gets underway this evening at 6 o'clock. Sticking with hockey, Canada suffering its first loss of the World Hockey Championships, a 2-1 shootout loss to Finland. Eli Tolvanen scoring the winner. Canada will now take on Group A leaders Sweden later today. Game 1 of the Western Conference NBA Finals tonight down in OKC. It'll be the Thunder coming off a Game 7 win against the Nuggets, taking on a rested Timberwolves squad. Over to baseball, after dropping 2 of 3 to the Tigers over the weekend, the Jays return to action tonight. They host the Padres to kick off a 3-game set. First pitch, 5:07. Over to football, CFL preseason schedule getting underway yesterday from Starlight Stadium in Langford, BC, as it was the Stampeders over the Lions 26-16. Well, in the NFL, a vote on whether to allow NFL players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Olympics in LA is expected to pass later today at league meetings in Minneapolis. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he wishes Sunday's game was at 11 a.m.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
I'm through with watching a team that simply just can't win. It's time for the playoffs and the Oilers are in. Turns out this season was better than you thought it would be. Tell me what you got. They've got a brand new captain with a C on his chest, and around the league they know he's best. And if you don't agree with that, then you just made the list. Sorry, old dog. They've got a goalie that has no limit. Every single night the net he's in, and he joined the 40-win club, and Fuhrer said that's fine with me. Been there, done that. Sorry boys on the bus, but they've got new stars. Renamed 104th McDavid Boulevard. Corner between Dry and Pat Maroon is fine for me. So tell me how they did it. They made a trade some thought was lame, but they picked up Larson for what's his name. Cause we all just wanna watch the playoffs and be down on white when the shirts come off. The girls ain't easy and the drugs aren't cheap. Can't go to the game, ticket price is too steep. So we'll hang out at the coolest bars and drive around with flags on our cars. Every bandwagon fan gonna play this song and cheer for Pisani cause they don't know he's gone. Hey, I wanna watch a play.
7:37 on the Nielson Show. Kicking off another day here on Edmonton Sports Talk with the Nielson Show, brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Tommy Gazzola, no wrench. Good morning, Nasties. It's a road game for Tommy G.
On the road, are we? Hey,
We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning, where Popeyes has the new pickle menu available to you. The tang, the brine, the crunch. Our delicious pickle lineup is now available for you to try.
More brine. We should do shots of brine.
No, we shouldn't.
It's great. You know the pickleback drink, right? I think we were talking about that one morning. It's the
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
What's it with vodka and brine?
Or whiskey, is it? Whiskey or something like that? Yeah, but it fixes you right up. It's got that salty
Fixes you right up?
twang, yeah.
Fixes you right
I don't
up.
like pickles, but I don't mind the brine.
Okay.
I'm a brine man.
All right.
Brine boy.
You don't like pickles, but you what?
I like the brine. Well, it's
that's
like a
that's
salty
interesting.
I agree.
salt water.
Yeah, I agree. I have a hard time.
I find them too slimy.
Yeah,
but the
what about
brines.
pickled carrots? Do you like carrots?
Pickled garlic.
Or garlic?
That's where I'll go.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
pickled eggs. Pickled. Yeah, I don't
So you
mind.
like other things pickled, but you don't like pickles yourself.
I
No.
agree.
Yeah.
Never heard of
And
such
I
a
do
thing.
like cucumbers.
Too soft.
You guys are a couple of psychos over here. I'm working with a couple of serial killers. This is nuts.
We should have a brine show.
God.
Brine of the week.
You know what? If the Oilers sweep the Stars, we'll do a brine show. We can come up with brine accents and everything.
We each get 2 liters and we got to finish it in the 3 hours.
All right, let's get to your weekly confessions, brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to pretty much mailing it in for the next couple of days until the series begins. Stop by to get your landscaping equipment and some mediocre service if you're planning on being productive until game time. Only at Spectrum Rental.
The real
You know
honest.
what? Yeah, you got to love a company that's just honest about it. I'm sure many of you don't want to really work today either.
It has been a nice break, though, through the long.
been
Like
a
it's set the
tremendous break.
schedule, as we said, going into the long weekend, set up perfectly. Now, we're not starting a game today as we may have thought we would have, but
Tremendous break. Hey, how good was that over the weekend?
yeah.
For the fans,
Get your
no
sleep
stress for us,
schedule,
no
catch
work.
up. Yeah.
Just an excellent long weekend. All right, so what are you confessing today? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Send your confessions in, and we'll get to a few of those. Joella's in. It says, I confess. It's all in caps. She only texts in caps.
She just loves to yell.
I confess that I enjoyed trolling my sister, the Toronto fan, about Marner's future. She conceded by saying he has to go, ruining my fun. Well, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, gonna lose Marner. Hey, yep, we totally should. Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez.
That's a tough look. That's a tough look. Send your confessions to 780-218-9999. You can also throw them up over on YouTube this morning as well. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. We are now on the push to 12.4K on the eventual push to 13,000 and just 38 likes away from changing 400 here in the second hour of the show. Macramella, hey man, in San Diego this week for work. Can't make our hit tomorrow. I'm going to say, you're dead to me. But I love you.
Boo! You suck!
Hey, good one, Trev. You're on fire today. Hey, all right, Rick. What are you confessing?
I've never actually eaten a whole pickle.
Come on.
It's tough to say you hate something we haven't tried it. Hey, Dusty?
I hate so many things that I haven't tried. I can't be that guy who critiques you. You're a foodie. You've never had a whole pickle?
The thing is, I think I would enjoy. So you take a whole pickle out and they get that crunch.
Yes.
I think I would like that.
You would.
But my whole experience with pickles has been in the burger or the chicken sandwich or whatever. So they're cut and they're slimy and they're wet and they're kind of.
No, you grab a pickle.
You've had a pickled?
Yeah. I've
You've
had a
crunched
pickle.
into like a plastic or
I'm
a
particular
Polski
about my
Ogorki?
pickles.
Yeah, do you have a brand?
I like the little bread and butter pickles.
Okay, yeah.
I love those. I like the pickles that come at Mr. Mike's.
Okay.
Those are a good pickle. I'm not sure what the variety of pickle is there, but it's delicious. And I remember back as a kid, and not so much as an adult, but we used to get pickles, and just a average sized pickle, and
The
you
old
bite
fat
into
ones,
it.
the
Yeah,
Polski
like,
Ogorkis, you can really-
not like crazy fat, but no, just a regular sized pickle. And I don't love pickles.
Yeah. You're
but
not.
I'll eat a pickle.
Some people are obsessed, but I think it's
You've never had a pickle.
I've never consumed an entire pickle.
Trev,
not even
you've
bread and butter.
Trev, you've had pickles before, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair
The
enough.
whole bit though, the big ones.
Yeah,
the small
but
ones.
I'm not
You're
a
not
big
sitting
fan.
there and-
That's so weird
no.
to me that you've never had a.
Never had a full pickle.
Geez, is this what I
I've had
sound
a piece
like all
of a
the
pickle.
time when
Well,
I surprise you guys?
At least I had a piece. I mean,
Yes.
God.
He's tried it at least.
All right, well, that's a doozy of a confession to get us going today.
My neighbor also thinks my wife's name is Danny, and she calls her Dana, and I've stopped correcting her.
Of course.
I've only because at what point do you?
Now, when
I've corrected her twice.
if you both are around her, would you also buy into the bit and refer to Danny as Dana?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, I've
good.
corrected her twice.
But I'm
She's
just
an
saying,
older
if you're
person.
not going
I'm
to correct her anymore, you better not confuse her when the three of you are together, and you might as well just buy into
Although
the Dana
that would
bit.
be kind of hilarious too.
Yeah.
But she's old, and I think she would take offense. She would think that I'm, ageist.
Lance Kane over in the chat says the old cheap theater in Clairview used to sell full pickles at their concession. Yeah, I like that. The old concession pickle. Trev, what are you confessing today, buddy?
Yeah, no, that's LT starting us off with a real strong confession. I'm just going to dive right into mine. It's something that
Throw yourself up here.
bothered me for quite some time. now.
Okay, okay.
Quite a bit of time, actually. And it's very, very embarrassing. And I see everyone every day doing it. And I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make coffee. And I love coffee. And that is my confession.
It's not too bad. I mean,
you should like a French press.
I'm so embarrassed.
But you can't make coffee like our coffee maker. If somebody said, "Hey, go put on a pot," you wouldn't know what to do.
And that's where it's tough because LT is like, yeah, man, go help yourself. Go make some coffee. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I could really go for some coffee right now, but I don't.
Some
know how
days
to
I don't make any.
I know.
And you probably get an itch, and you're like, I can't.
And that's why it's an issue because I don't know how. I've made maybe one pot in my life that was quite some time ago, and then I never really had the opportunity to because it was grandma, and then it was when it wasn't grandma, it was the stepdad and mom doing
Then
it.
probably your roommates there
And
for a
then
bit.
When I moved here, they were always making coffee, so I never.
In your defense, there are 4 buttons. There isn't just like a make coffee button. So they could be. I can see where
It's
you're
like,
coming from.
At our house, you just put a little cup in and they push a button and
Yeah, the
tab.
espresso stuff. I say we teach you, and Zach can put it on the TikTok.
Trev, you'll appreciate this story. When I worked for the Lethbridge Hurricanes for a year, like as doing a bunch of stuff, but I managed the press box, so it was my thing. So the very first game, I'm up there and I had to make coffee, and I never made coffee before myself. So where you put the coffee up top in the filter area, I filled the entire thing up all the way to the top. So it was just
in the water basin, or okay,
but the whole thing was the coffee was like this thick, the grounds or whatever you guys call it. And the guys are like, oh my God, what's up with this? I said, I don't know. Then we opened up the top and it's just like a lump of coffee at the top of it. It was, but I haven't made it since. Like I never corrected. Somebody else took over.
Yeah.
So I never, yeah.
You can understand.
But so you've never once nobody's even you teach this guy.
Yeah,
I
when
know.
was in
We'll put
high
it on the
school-
TikTok. This is good content.
And it's tough. I see everyone. Maddie's making coffee here. Belzy comes in, makes coffee.
Maddie doesn't make good coffee. You don't.
Amishman 19 says, I
really
hate coffee and I know how to make coffee. It's easy to learn. You got this, Trev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it's a skill that'd be too much for you to comprehend.
It's just embarrassing, 26, and I love coffee. I really do. Coffee every morning.
What do you do at home?
I don't do.
You
it.
don't.
Well,
you just
I've
go
got.
out.
I've got. Tommy gave me a little thing. I just press the button.
Espresso?
But that's different. Yeah. I just put a little pot in, and then you're set. But I can't make a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
And I just. It's always bothered me.
Get a French press.
Okay.
And then grind the grinder.
It always looks so cool.
and
it
tastes
satisfying.
great.
French press. Is that what Phrase used to do? The fancy type? Yeah.
Yeah.
Phrase only is a fresh French press guy.
It's delicious.
Abutsky texts in, says, confession, I've eaten more pickles on a stick at movies than popcorn in his day.
They're in vogue now too. Like you can pickle
on a stick?
pickle everything. Like people like pickles now. Especially
I like
Popeyes.
to see a pickle bounce back here. It's important.
Getting a big old wet one on my Caesar, like I'm like,
you don't like that? Oh, it's floppy. Right?
Get out of here.
You like a crunchy pickle.
I want a crunch,
not the
I
floppy
want that
pickle.
snap.
Yeah, that's understandable. 2 confessions. We took the kid. The weather wasn't great. We did a big Nielson family May-long showdown yesterday, where I play 1-on-3 versus the family in soccer, basketball, and then basement hockey. And
you go hard.
It was tough. Well, I was dying after the soccer. They beat me in soccer 12-7. Then we went and played basketball in the neighbor's hoop, and I beat him 12-11.
Oh, tight.
Finished it with a dunk. No big deal. Like an 8.5-foot hoop, but whatever. And then I got shut out 12-0 in hockey. The Muds closed the door.
You left it all in the court.
I was done.
And
I had to get my victory.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then after all that, we're like, enough outside. So we went and saw Minecraft again. We went and saw the Minecraft movie again.
Daddy
yesterday.
needed a rest.
And I fell asleep at the exact same part. I still haven't seen the famous chicken jockey scene. I slept through it again. Both times I've gone to Minecraft, I slept through that part. But it's a great movie. I really enjoy it. I need like a snooze for about 30 minutes. Pretty much anytime I go to the theater. Here's my other confession, though. And many people won't believe this. But I swear to God, it's true. On Friday, I had a meeting out in the Northeast. And I was like, I'm going to pick up my... because I pre-ordered a Can I Get a Win Yeah shirt. And then Adore gave me one for free. So I have 2 now. So I went and picked up my other one. It was at Londonderry Mall. I have lived in Edmonton for 16 years now. I had never been to Londonderry Mall. That was my first trip ever.
And you're a mall guy.
To Londonderry Mall.
You like a good mall. You love a mall. Yeah.
I love malls. I was pulling up to it. I was like, holy smokes, this is a huge mall. I thought Londonderry Mall was like some sort of small little crabby mall. I couldn't believe it. I pulled up. It was walking in. I yelled at everybody. I said, hey, I'm at Londonderry Mall.
Can I get the tour?
I almost went live on Insta. You'll never believe where I am. I'm live at Londonderry Mall. It was, it was great. There's a Paris Jewelers in there.
Yeah.
And a huge 780 location. The 780 location is massive. It's got to be their biggest one. There was only one Can I Get a Win Yeah shirt left. But some people still hadn't picked theirs up. They had envelopes. I said, how many envelopes did you have? The girls, like, it took up the entire place. Like, all of the area behind the till was all just Can I Get a Win Yeah envelopes, which is great. But I had never been to the Londonderry Mall in 16 years living here. Is that normal, or does that catch you off guard a little bit?
I can count on probably one hand.
But you've been there.
With a few fingers to spare how many times I've been there. But
like, I've been to Kingsway, I've been to Southgate, I've obviously been to the Outlet Mall.
Yeah.
I was at West Edmonton Mall, as often as I can.
Yeah.
But I'd never been to the Londonderry Mall, and I thought it was strange when I was walking in that I'd lived here for almost 2 decades, and I'd never been there.
So that was your last stone.
That was the last one.
Like, because I've never been to the Outlet one.
Oh, okay. Well, that was yours. I can now snap my fingers and all the malls go away. I've been to a mall. I think that's it.
So did you do the full walk though? Like, did you both levels?
No, I wanted to check it out.
Yeah.
I parked at like the exact opposite side of the mall of where 780 was by accident, but I didn't even complain.
Nice.
I was now I get to walk this entire mall.
Yeah.
So I walked the upstairs going there, and then I walked. I went down. I walked the downstairs going there. And then I walked the upstairs coming back, and there was a food court there, and I hadn't had lunch yet. I got myself a Wetzel pretzel.
Okay.
And it was a great time at Londonderry Mall. Yeah.
I knew there'd be a little food court treat in there for old daddy.
Oh,
you got to test it out.
It's a new food court to me.
Yeah.
Most of the same things you find at other food courts, but I had to try it. I'm not going to go to a mall for the first time and not hit the food court.
They're positioned differently.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a big moment for me over the weekend. Duck Dad says Londonderry Mall was the place to be when it had HMV in that Pog store back in the day. I could tell when I was in there. I could get the vibe that this place used to be a pretty big deal. Like, you can just tell with those malls. Man, this place used to be hopping. It was nice because it was quiet.
Yeah,
it wasn't that busy. If
the walls of Westmount Mall could talk.
Oh, Westmount.
That place is...
Jeez, last time I went to Westmount,
graveyard.
It was for a COVID vaccination.
Yeah.
No political talk here.
No, but if you need your hearing checked...
Yeah.
Or if you need to go, for a that's where you go. But other than that, they do have a ripping Smitty's there, though, I will say. Kokanee Gold on tap.
Kokanee Gold on tap at the Smitty's?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to know.
You get no head on that beer. Like, there is not one bubble in it. Just straight yellow. Straight. It looks like brine. Like if you were to order a pint of brine.
All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. JCD780 says, guys, let's just be honest. Malls are just giant money laundering operations. That's it. La Bamba guy says, congratulations on your Yag Mall Grand Slam, Dusty. Haas says, I've lived in Edmonton for 35 years. I've only been to Londonderry Mall 3 times. How do you remember you've been there 3 times over 35 years?
Must have been memorable trips.
Like, you write it down in like a little notepad like Steve Buscemi and Big Daddy? Londonderry Mall. 3.
3.
Troll says Londonderry Mall used to have a really good used CD store. I liked when I go there.
Used CDs.
Used
Wow.
CD store. That's good. Oh man, at Just McDry Sauce with a confession. Then we'll move on to Fire It Up here. Guys, I confess that at the cheap theater in Clairview, I grabbed a popcorn bag out of the garbage and got a free refill. I don't know about used.
It's a great
popcorn
confession.
bag
That's a great
out of
one.
the garbage.
Now
buddy.
do the pop.
God. Ruddle says Smitty's is closed at Westmount.
What? Like permanently?
Well, I mean, right now maybe, but
There
it would
was
be
a
open now. It's a breakfast
restaurant
place.
and then the bar lounge. I remember. Is
Red is in and says, I got caught stealing a yo-yo when I was a kid at Londonderry Mall. God, how about that? And then all these years later, I end up there. The very place you were stealing a yo-yo. Malls, eh?
Malls.
All right, there you go. That's Confessions for Spectrum Rental, where they're not trying at all. But they've got great stuff for you to try hard with your rental equipment. All right, time to get fired up for Gemco. Oilers and Stars. Here we go again. Hey, here we go again, boys. Oilers and Stars. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years and are the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces or the Napoleon Grill. If you're looking to put another shrimp on the bobby, you'll find the Napoleon Grill at Gemco. All the Napoleon products you need available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. All right, so let's look back at last year's series. As we get fired up for this one, the Edmonton Oilers dispatching the Dallas Stars in 6 games last year. They lose game 1 in overtime. They win game 1 in overtime. They lose games 2 and 3. And I don't know if we can remember back to those shows, but I'm assuming the city was in a full-blown panic after falling behind 2-1 against Dallas. After that, they win game 4. They win game 5. They win game 6. Skinner rolls out a .922 save percentage in that series. Outstanding, specifically in game 6 when the Oilers just got absolutely peppered. And Skinner stood on his head and they won that game. Leon Draisaitl just 4 points in the 6 games. Oilers still won. Rupe Hintz only played 4 of the 6 games. Did not have a goal. Had 2 assists. The Oilers end up taking that series. No Rantanen, obviously the biggest difference. But how fired up are you that we get Oilers Stars again? I think this is going to be an absolutely tremendous series.
It's a great rivalry, and it dates back to another era as well between these two teams. I mean, the
there's
Stars,
that lingering
Stars had a
rivalry.
different logo. Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
always been this kind of I'll say a beef, I guess, not a out for blood type of beef, but. These are two good markets that I think game respect game. I do wonder, though, and we have been talking about last year's series, and I get it. It was a conference final. They're back again. Are you at all looking at the regular season matchups between these two teams? I know the Stars did not have Mikko Rantanen for, I do believe, 1, 2, maybe if not, I can't. March 26th, they had him. March 8th, I don't know. Again, the
He
trade deadline around
played
there.
the one game because I remember Wallman blew him up.
Okay, yeah, so there's that.
It was Wallman's first game.
Oilers 1-2 against the Stars. It was a 4-1 loss back in October. The 5-4, which the Oilers scored a few late goals. I know the Stars got up heavy in that one. The Oilers were up heavy, pardon me, and it was the other way around. Dallas scored a few late goals to make it seem closer than it actually was, and then a 4-3 loss later. I mean, are you looking at all into that, or are we just going back to... Because I'm not
reading
Oilers,
too much into
the Oilers were a different team last playoffs as well. We do forget.
Well, and
roster-wise and
this Oilers group that we're seeing right now is different than they were in the regular season.
Sure.
No Kane, no Frederick. Klingberg was not what Klingberg is right now. So I'm putting no stock into regular season matchups. Maybe that's a fool's play, but I'm not reading into the regular season this year.
But I think both teams you can look at being seismically different, both from last year and as you mentioned as well. I mean, this Oilers team from game 1 of the playoffs, game 2 in the Kings series has been different. So do you change anything heading into this series? Lineups wise,
I think
is there an Arvidsson peak, or you just roll it back again and then see until they.
I roll back what worked to finish the last series. I know somebody was saying, Dusty, I just go McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman together and just force Dallas to have to shut those guys down.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that happening at some point in the series, but I don't think you start the series that way. Do you guys remember who led the Dallas Stars in points in this series last year? Trev, do you have a guess? Who led the Dallas Stars with 7 points in 6 games in this series last year?
Was it Duchesne?
It was not Matt Duchesne.
Mason Marchman? Was it Marchman?
Duchesne had...
Oh, was it Wyatt Johnson?
It was not Wyatt Johnson.
Yeah.
Wyatt Johnston had 5 points.
Cody Ceci.
Matt Duchesne had no points and was -2 in 6 games.
Oof.
Of course, Cody Ceci was not on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, Pavelski 0 points, Duchesne 0 points.
Yikes.
In 6 games. Rupe Hintz had 2 assists in 4. Wiley veteran Jamie Benn.
It was Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn led the Dallas Stars in scoring in this head-to-head series last year with 7 points.
Dirtbag Ben.
I don't remember that at all.
He only had 9 shots on goal, but Connor McDavid for the Edmonton Oilers had 10 points in 6 games last year against Dallas. 3 goals, 7 assists. Bush had 7 points. Hyman had 5 points. Nuge and Draisaitl each had 4 points. And the Edmonton Oilers last year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different players scored in this series for the Oilers last year, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Dallas. Only 7 players scored for Dallas in the 6 games last year.
Did you touch on Duchesne's numbers?
It was 0 points.
Yeah,
I mentioned Duchesne had 0 points. He's not had a good playoff so far this year. Do you guys think Rantanen needs to just be incredible as Dallas's only path to victory in this series? Or
can he do it himself?
Do they need Rantanen to have the McDavid 10 points in this series for them to win? Or is there another path to victory for the Dallas Stars?
I think they need a little more, though. I mean, Trev pointed out earlier, too, you can counter with a McDavid or a Draisaitl. Like Edmonton has 2, guys in that stature. So I don't think a Mikko Rantanen is being a one of Draisaitl or McDavid. And then you also toss on how important the depth for the Oilers has been. They'll need a little more. But maybe that little more is Ottinger standing on his head. If Ottinger stands on his head and Mikko Rantanen goes all world, maybe that's obviously the path to victory.
Oh, man, the more I dive into the numbers from last year's series and then Dallas's 5-on-5 numbers so far in the playoffs this year, the more confident I feel about the Edmonton Oilers being in a pretty good spot here.
But this is the stiffer test of the Kings and the Golden Knights. I know everybody was worried about the Kings, maybe not so much about the Golden Knights, but this is a level up.
I think it should be.
And I'm not going off points or anything.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Sure, yeah.
I think it should be.
But you can still feel very positive about the Oilers' position, even if it is a level up.
Yeah.
I would still...
Let's take a look at the numbers on this series. Just from odds makers are usually pretty damn close on this type of stuff. So Edmonton Oilers. Oh, this series is a straight up pick 'em. It's -111 on both sides. So the odds maker, this is at Play Alberta. Sign up today, playalberta.ca. Title sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk. It's -111. Both sides of this thing. For the series to go 6 games, it's +200. Something that you probably look at. There's a lot of different props up for this series. Just looking at the Carolina-Florida series, Florida is a slight favorite at -125 there. And the Stanley Cup favorites right now, it is an even split. Oilers +225, Panthers +225, Stars +275, Hurricanes 3-1.
Split-a-rooney.
It's as close as it could possibly be. I don't know if I've seen Stanley Cup odds that close in the Final Four in a long time.
Carolina does seem like the diet drink out of all of them. Fair to say? Like they just...
Carolina? I don't know.
Like it's kind of a... The other 3 I put in that class, but
I keep selling them short. I mean, they had New Jersey in the first round. Sorry, probably not a playoff team.
Washington wasn't supposed to be a...
Washington wasn't supposed to be that much. So I think Florida beats Carolina. I don't think it goes beyond 6. And then we'll give you our Oilers Stars predictions tomorrow morning on the show. But you got to be fired up for it. The Oilers in a pretty good spot here against the Dallas Stars once again, I would think, and fired up. Brought to you by Gemco Fireplaces, an authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. All right, we need somebody to play Kind of Easy Trivia. Gift certificate to Mr. Mike's is up for grabs.
It's that time of year.
Big day at Mr. Mike's. As today is the first day of Platypalooza. From barbecue rib platters to coastal combos with lobsters and prawns.
You got to play the band.
It's a big flavor all summer long. Anyway, if you want to win a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's, one of us has to swing up to the 137th location, pick up gift certificates, because we're out of them right now. I know they got a stack for us up there.
Oh, do I have to go up there and...
No, I can't sit.
Go to the bar
you'll be at the Wood for 3 hours.
They have a great bar there.
They do have a great bar
like
there.
It.
It's
it
nice.
feels like you're on a trip. It's that hotel.
Yeah, because you're in the hotel feel.
Real great.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go up to pick up those gifts, nobody's going to stop
that
you.
Platypalooza myself.
If you... No, we're going to have a lot of fun with Platypalooza.
Oh, well, yeah.
If you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia today, text Trev right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We need one more question for 3 questions, too many as well. But if you want to play trivia, win that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's, 780-218-9999. Text Trev, you will play. Gager around 8:30 today. The wrap for William Huff still to come as well. 3 questions, too many for the great staff at Park Mazda. All locked and loaded. Changing 400.
Changing 100. Changing 100.
Let's change 500 here right away. 500, 600 like show. Not bad the day before game 1 day, which will be good as well.
People want a Teef to call in.
No, they don't. Oh, yeah, we're not.
Apparently, he got caught feeling at London Dairy Mall back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. All right. If you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, 780-218-9999. Sports update time with Lieutenant Eric for Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Matthias Ekholm participating in his first full skate of the 2025 playoffs yesterday ahead of tomorrow's Game 1 down in Dallas between the Oilers and Stars. Ekholm officially listed as day-to-day. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That goes tonight at 6 from Raleigh between the Hurricanes and Panthers. Sticking with hockey, Eli Tolvanen scored the shootout winner. Finland would edge Canada 2-1, handing Canada's first loss at the Men's World Hockey Championships. Canada will take on Group A leaders Sweden later today. Over to the NBA, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight down in OKC between the Thunder and the rested Minnesota Timberwolves. On the diamond, after dropping 2 of 3 to the Tigers over the weekend, the Jays are back in action. They host the Padres to kick off a 3-game set. First pitch, 5:07. CFL preseason schedule getting underway yesterday from Langford, BC. It was the Stampeders over the Lions 26-16. The Elks will kick off the preseason this Saturday down in Calgary. Kickoff 7:30. And a vote on whether to allow NFL players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics is expected to pass later today at league meetings in Minneapolis. Sports Update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since '93. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Oh yeah! Word on! You wanna win it? Game on, yeah! Oh baby, it's time to play with
It's a tough road to the cup. Gotta win for in the best of sevens. And yes, they lift the cup again. Got no doubt in my head. And yes, they lift the cup again. Oh man, playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers place. Rock and Rogers place. Yeah. Playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers place. Oh, Rock and Rogers place.
Pour it on.
Zach Hyman moving in, Risker shoots, scores! Zach Hyman!
I'll do.
We'll crack a beer for this glorious time. You've been waiting, you've been waiting. The top line's just a flying, cause man, yeah, they want one. You know they want to. Can you feel it? Can you feel it tonight? Can't go high glove, cause Stewie Skins is a guy. It's the moment, yeah, they're rolling tonight. Get your hands up, right to the cup. And yes, they lift the cup again. Got no doubt in my head. And yes, they lift the cup again. Oh man, playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. Rock and Rogers place.
Rock and Rogers Place. Yeah. Playoffs are insane. Playoffs are insane. 808 on the Nielson Show, brought to you today and every day by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. And they've got hard-hitting deals in Truck Month. Deals hitting so hard, Zach Hyman can't even keep up with them. Silverado 1500s and heavy duties, 0% financing for up to 72 months OAC on the Silverado 1500 crew cabs, which are built right here in Canada. Also have big discounts on these Silverados as well. Lots going on there today. You can text us anytime. That'll get you in the old PJ's inbox, Paris Jewelers inbox. Taking a pretty good pounding here the day before the day of game one.
It's good coming off a long weekend.
Yeah.
You get the day off before game one.
It's perfect.
Great action.
This schedule could not have worked out better for Edmonton Sports Talk. We're very excited about it. Thank you very much for being here today. One of your text messages will win the A&W text of the day. Strummy, I see you always putting bangers out in the chat. Text some of those in. Get yourself in the mix for that A&W gift certificate. Hey, why not?
I think he's already got hundreds of dollars here in unclaimed winnings.
Yeah, as many steakhouse
guys, just
team burgers.
He's just flexing at this point. That's
what he is. Victory lap boy. All right, we're gonna start the hour with a little kind of easy trivia. Trev, who's playing kind of easy trivia today, buddy? Who do we got?
Mandate John.
Mandate John is going to play, trying to get his hands on this gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. Mr. Mike's beginning today is turning up the sizzle with Platypalooza. From barbecue rib platters to coastal combos with lobsters and prawns. It's all big flavor all summer long. Plus, enter for we do need some, what do we call it? Like bayou
it's
music?
That small squeeze box accordion.
Platypalooza. And to vote your shot at season summer prizes.
Yeah.
Get into Mr. Mike's. Platypalooza is on. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually. Enjoy Platypalooza.
And if it's an ad for TV or even YouTube, you got to be going down the river on a stick raft.
Yes.
In overalls and a straw hat talking about Platypalooza.
Who wrote this liner? Who wrote this liner? Huck Finn?
See, now the character's coming out now.
Sorry, I'm still moving on. I'm still moving on from the the Emperor Caesar salad.
Sure, yeah.
Give me time, Mr. Mikes. Give me time. All right, Mandate John needs to get 3 out of 5 correct. Trev, start the ticker. Mandate John, you ready to go, buddy?
Oh, I'm gonna win me some prawns.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. All right. Who will the Oilers face in the Western Conference Final this year?
Dallas Stars.
Who did the Oilers beat in the Western Conference Final last year?
Dallas Stars.
Which two teams are playing in this year's Eastern Conference Final?
Florida, Carolina.
Name one team that's still alive in the NBA playoffs.
The Thunder.
Which league's preseason began yesterday?
And I'm gonna get me some lobsters.
No! God. Damn it, Shane, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment.
Totally. People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just stoked. You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Amazing. There's a lot of potential with Platterpalooza, man. We got to get the jingle. You know what? I'll write one. With AI. There's probably a bunch of ways we can get that set up.
I know it's a Platterpalooza, but the lack of like a jambalaya dish or some other.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows?
Have it all.
Yeah.
Maybe a little gator. Yeah, you get him.
I see Daryl Sutter over in the chat says, Dusty, that CFL shirt is fire. I like to imagine that's the real Daryl Sutter.
Yeah.
In a tractor right now, watching the show on YouTube.
Imagine.
Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Mattawanek. He found this originally. It's the Radically Canadian shirt. You can get these on the Ottawa Red Blacks online store. So I went immediately. I got one of these and the matching hoodie.
The hoodie.
And they're great. I don't know why CFL is not rolling out more retro merch, but I would buy all of it. I also got this plain CFL Rob Lowe hat at the Ottawa Red Blacks store as well.
Yeah.
So
well, it's
Ottawa
Nation's
Red Blacks.
capital. It's like your HQ for
maybe that's what
they
it
like
is.
to keep it neutral. It's
that could be it.
But bring back the American made.
That could be it.
I just damn it anyway.
I want to get to this just because of how amazing the commitment to Brock Purdy is here. So this is a submission from our website, right? You can go to edmontonsportstalk.com and there's like a submission form at the bottom.
We're going Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
Okay.
out of nowhere.
I'm interested to see where this goes.
I'm going to read this entire thing because the bit requires it. But this is something that somebody sent in to our website at 7:42 this morning. They must have been talking about this on the Hangout at some point. Anyway, it says CC. So I think that means carbon copy.
Chris Cuthbert.
Not Chris Cuthbert. Well, how Chris Cuthbert? Best in the biz.
Yeah, how dare
Suck
you.
it up.
Yeah.
Matt, Belzy, and Jay shouldn't have been that hard for outsiders to realize. Purdy ranks #1 in the most relevant efficiency metrics ever since he came into the NFL. A lot of people just evaluate their feelings instead of facts these days. Is the 25-year-old Purdy worth of the investment? Every indication since he entered the league as his very last draft pick, number 262, suggests yes. From beating Tom Brady's Buccaneers in his first start, that was the only time Brady lost to a team helmeted by a rookie quarterback, to dominating NFL passing metrics in 2023, to maintaining good play in 2024, even as the Niners crumbled around him. Purdy has answered the bell at every juncture. The numbers verify that. The most efficient NFL quarterback since 2022, #1, Brock Purdy, EPA, 0.254, success rate 52.6%, CPOE 2.7%. #2, Josh Allen, EPA 0.231, success rate 52.2%, CPOE 2.6%. #3, Patrick Mahomes, EPA 2.06, success rate 51.5% CPOE. #4, Lamar Jackson, EPA 0.192, success rate 51%, C3PO percent. 5, Jared Goff, EPA 0.1, blah, 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 blah.
Where's this going?
Brock Purdy, QB rank among 65 quarterbacks with 5+ starts since 2022. 9.0 pass yard attempts. #1, 6.1% pass TD rank. #2, 106.2 passer rating. Rank #1. 4 postseason wins, tied for 3. Paid Brock Purdy, paid George Kittle, paid Fred Warner, retired Robert Saleh, rehauled special teams, renovated and languishing defense, worked to tailor offense around Purdy, overseen health returns, CMC during extra winter rests, added 18 rookies. It's only May 17th. Brock Purdy also received a full no trade clause, a part of his new contract. As per Oilers fans killing Niners, don't play a single 2024 playoff team over the 8 final weeks of the 25 season. Whew. That is a long email to send in about Brock Purdy to Edmonton Sports Talk at 7:42 on a Tuesday morning. The commitment to Brock Purdy is unmatched.
It took the entire long weekend to draft that puppy, hey? Like revisions and checking the numbers and what work?
I don't know what the guy said about Brock Purdy, but my goodness, they must have been ripping on him.
And none of this matters anyways because Curtis Rourke's going to take his job eventually, right? I mean,
he's a seat filler for the Canadian Curtis
throw
Rourke.
your C3POs out the window.
God. SGM over in the chat says, that's all well and good about Brock Purdy, but how does he compare to the Wizard of Oz characters?
Yes, but yeah.
That's good. Text that one in. I like that one. We are 36 likes away from changing 500 over on YouTube. Please sub to the channel if you haven't already. We know there's always like 30 to 40% of you hiding in the darkness, watching without a sub. So hammer the thumbs up for us. Gager's going to join us. We'll obviously talk some Formula One with Gager, but we will get into Jake Ottinger and how you can find success against Ottinger. And I think Gager's a bit lukewarm on Ottinger. So I'll be a little surprised if he thinks Ottinger is going to be the big difference maker.
It's probably because Hernandez
in this series
is hot on him. Eh?
Maybe. Tattoo ASMR says Purdy and Kittle. Power from Iowa and Iowa State. Go Oilers. Iowa is Oiler country. God, look at the twist here. People tying in state of Iowa to the Edmonton Oilers.
Hawkeyes ball. Hey, that's where they wave at the hospital when they.
This is incredible. Guys, let's talk about how Flame Sports Radio is making fun of the Leafs only having 2 series wins since 2004-2005. Meanwhile, the Flames have the exact same amount.
Daryl Sutter.
Oh, 2 lowly franchises. What can you do?
Arthur, that's a pretty long letter.
Yes.
Yeah.
A pretty long. That's good, Arthur.
That get you an
Arthur, text that thing in, man. That might get you a steakhouse team burger, my man, or 4 of them, really.
Yeah.
Look at the price of these things. All right, 3 questions too many for the great staff of Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment today?
3 questions too many brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, and it's dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he'd like to, from one manager to another, congratulate Don Sweeney on his 2-year extension this morning with the Boston Bruins. Park Mazda dealer for life.
Good. Yeah,
they
congratulations.
all talk, when it's manager, it's their LinkedIn group.
All tied in together, yeah. The real Slim Davy texts and says, guys, I hear the points made in the long Purdy email, but how does this affect LeBron's legacy? That's
you were still going off on the Jordan era over the weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on.
You don't rest. You don't.
Guy won a title, had 3 guys on his team that finished top 15 in MVP voting.
It was a watered down, watered down era.
Expansion, please.
Yeah, well,
most bogus 6 titles I've ever seen in my life. Do you have a Twitter account?
That I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric, where I will retweet one of your many Jordan posts over the weekend here, if I can.
Go ahead, retweet them all.
I will, yeah. I mean, you had just a.
I think the one was late at night. I like to do a lot of my Jordan scrolling late at night.
Where is it here? Yeah, most watered down
one year
era
he won a title.
history.
Scottie Pippen also finished top 5 in MVP voting.
Who's this guy?
But he wasn't on stacked teams.
Larry P.
Please.
NYC Vipers.
Was that guy retweeted?
Yeah, he goes 90s Bulls 6-0. 2-time three-peat is not the flex Jordan fans wish. And then he goes off in his video to twitch you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. Right? I'll just retweet what others say. Because most of the time on Twitter, you'll find facts. So there's that. Anyway, not today. Saving that for the eventual GOAT show at some point.
And you also reposted a tweet from BGM Sports Tracks, the Elks signing quarterback Cole Snyder.
Saw that. Interesting.
You never know.
4 quarterbacks in camp now. Yeah. Oh, also shout out to Stevens the 4th. Did you see that tweet over the weekend?
Hell of a name.
The Double E have a player in camp. I think he went to Oregon. I could be totally wrong. That might have been another Stevens. But they have a player named Stevens the 4th, which means his dad was Steven Stevens. His dad before him was Steven Stevens. And his dad before him was Steven Stevens, which I just think is a hilarious family.
He is a
who just continue to name their son Steven as well.
Oregon. You're right. But
yeah, he was an Oregon Duck.
Lots of funny names have graced the CFL. Yeah. And this just adds to
I'm really pulling for Stevens the 4th. I think, is he a DB? I think he's a DB.
Yeah.
I really hope Stevens the 4th. Somebody tweeted at me because I was like, the Elks have a guy named Stevens the 4th. Somebody replied, said, I talked to him. Great gentleman. Like, wow, that's great.
You can.
But from a play-by-play perspective, I'm looking to work in a interception for a pick 6. It's the even Stevens for Stevens, something along those lines. I think I could end up having a lot of fun with that. So fingers are crossed that Stevens the 4th makes the team.
Steve Stevens.
What did I say? Steven Stevens?
I mean, either way.
I mean, his name is probably Steven.
Oh, I know, but
yeah, Steve Stevens. I saw it, and it was like Ace Ventura when Ace saw Ray Finkle in that other photo.
If only like the last
Who
name
the hell is that?
It's Steffens. Like it's spelt, but if it was the spelling, Stevens.
Is it spelled differently?
It's Stevens.
Oh, I thought on the what? I thought I thought the Steven Stevens I saw that played at Oregon was Stevens spelled the same both ways.
You can follow him on Instagram.
Damn.
Check this out.
I must have been looking at another Steven.
Steve _most_dope.
That's his Twitter handle?
Steve Most Dope.
Yes. Yes.
I'm rooting for him.
Buy this guy's jersey.
Yes.
Buy this guy's jersey right now.
Anytime you get a Roman numeral in a jersey, hey?
Yeah, that's a big, a 4.
Or just spell it out. Stevens the 4th.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Stevens the 4th. God. Anyway, let's get into it. Question number 1. And we do need one more question for 3 questions too many. So send it over. Lots of longer messages popping up in the inbox today. Obviously not as long as the
Brock Purdy.
the Purdy one, but 780-218-90.
Staunch defense.
Salty Turtle says you need to say Steven like Jim Carrey. Steven. His name's Steven Stevens. He's my friend.
How would it sound if he's at Platterpalooza, though?
All right, keep that. We need one more question for 3 questions too many. 780-218-9999. Question number 1. Trev, get ready to answer this one too. Outside of Rantanen, which player on the Dallas Stars concerns you the most? Great question. Thank you for sending it in. Which player on the Stars outside of Rantanen concerns you the most? I mean, I think almost by default, and not to be disrespectful, Ottinger, yeah. Yeah, I think it. Trev, is it Ottinger? It kind of has to be.
That
Ottinger,
was my
huh?
pick.
Yeah, we'll all say it at once.
That was my pick.
Okay, on count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jake Ottinger.
Jake Ottinger.
Yeah, exactly. If he gets hot, I think he does have the upside too.
Outside of Jake Ottinger.
Outside of Rantanen and Jake Ottinger. Good adjustment on the fly, Eric. All right, answer that question. Outside of Rantanen and Ottinger, which Dallas Star concerns you the most?
Calvi and Bummer says glass bang guy.
Yeah. Grumpy Cat says Robertson, if he gets going, he was slow to start last year, but then he got 3 to 4 goals in a game or two all of a sudden.
Did he have a hat trick this year against the Oilers, or didn't he have a?
I don't care about the regular season. Remember, I'm totally ignoring regular season.
I know.
Trev, do you have an answer outside of Ottinger and Rantanen? Usually, I'd say a healthy Heiskanen, but he doesn't look very healthy.
I mean, you got Rupe. He at times has looked really good against the Oilers, so I'd probably go. The safe pick is probably Rupe or Robertson.
We're just straight up power ranking the Stars here easily because we're all agreeing on it. Yeah. We'll get into it with Gage a little bit. He's going to join us coming up here just after 8:30. Question number 2. Who are you guys taking in that Panthers-Hurricanes series? Eastern Conference predictions, boys. Who are you going to take?
Panthers in... Whatever Shog say, you can't choose... What are the numbers you can't pick?
Can't pick 6.
Okay.
So that's why he picked 5. He ended up being right.
Panthers
I'm sure
5.
he didn't bring it up.
Panthers in 5. And a gentleman's sweep. Eastern flavor.
Damn.
Yeah.
They're probably going to... Rod Peterson should do a gentleman's show for the Cats and Bolts podcast. Eric, I think I'm going to go Panthers in 6.
How dare...
Sorry.
The nerve on you.
Yeah. I'm going to give Carolina a little bit more respect this time around, but I'm still going to go Florida Panthers going back to their 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup final. Trev, you going to take the Hurricanes here?
I just don't see a way the Panthers lose this one. So it's got to be the Panthers. Like that scares me how good they are still. Probably you said Panthers in 5, 6. Well, I'll just go 7 then.
Whoa! Does this guy love the Carolina Hurricanes or what?
Hurricane lover.
Oh my God,
Don't sleep on the Hurricanes.
Oh, is he wearing a special cuff jersey under there, Trev?
No, I am not.
Oh my goodness, this guy. All right, so either way, I mean, unless Carolina wins or Florida sweeps, one of us is going to be right in that series.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
never thought of it that way.
That's kind of nice. 780-218-9999. Real Slim Davies wondering, how far down the list do you need to go to be scared of Game 7 Cody Ceci? RCN says, who does Dallas fear after 97-29? Nobody. That's not. I bet you they're a little bit afraid of Evander Kane, Zach Hyman, maybe.
Kasperi Kapanen.
Hey, I think. All right, let's get to this one. Question number 3. Trader Mark, maybe Gager can chime in on this. With the Rainmaker Rodeo in St. Albert this coming weekend, who at EST would last the longest on a bull ride? Great question. I do not have the body of a bull rider.
You've mutton busted, though.
I mutton busted with the best of them. Yeah.
You can ride a sheep, so...
Who would be best at hanging on a bull?
What do you need?
Tommy does describe himself as having the physique of a European runner.
Well, those thighs.
Or a cyclist or something.
The bull would be like, get off me. Too tight.
You sexy thigh, man.
Squeezing, you know. I'd love to see Zach.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I think Hernan Salas might have the best body build to ride a bull. Can't you see Hernan up on a bull being like, this is too easy, and he's got a dart in his mouth?
Dart in his mouth the entire time.
Finishes,
sucks it
rides
back
for 16 seconds, then gets off and sings La Bamba. Kevin Van Dessler says, YouTube Trev. Trev, how do you think you'd do on a bull, buddy?
I think I'd do splendid.
I think you and Hernan might be the top 2 here.
Have you ever been on a bull before?
No. Have you?
Yes.
You were on a bull?
No.
I had a bull.
Well,
I've been kidding about being on a bull? What are we doing here?
I've been on several horses, though, and they've, when it's gotten a little bumpy. So I feel like if anyone's had the most experience.
I've been on a horse when it got a little bumpy.
But
it's different than riding a bull.
Yes, it is. But I've got a lot of good friends that are in bull riding.
What?
That I graduated. Well, I'm from Pinterest.
Yeah,
that was the thing to do.
I guess. Do they have cool names?
No.
Oh.
No, not at all.
I feel like I have a pretty cool name to be a bull rider.
But it was always like
Steven Stevens the fourth.
Steven Stevens the fourth. If didn't play football, I definitely. What were you gonna say?
No, it's just very scary seeing it, especially when it's your buds. It can get pretty gnarly out there. So I don't know. Maybe Hernan's a safe pick.
I know. I think Hernan kind of just. I don't know. I think he's got a good.
I think Zach. You'd tie his hand there and he'd be flailing around. Like he wouldn't be sitting, but he'd be.
I don't know, man. Zach would get.
I have a lot of time for letting him try his hand at
I've got a couple of buddies. I showed you the one video of my buddy riding the bull at Cook. Yeah. He's a larger individual, and the bull goes forward once, goes back, then goes forward again, and my buddy Tadell slow-mo right over the head, just boom down. And then my other buddy Boom, I got a video of him hanging on. He was literally hanging upside down off the side of the bull, hung on for like 4 more spins. That's probably the closest we'll ever get. Anyway, here are names of bull riders with the PBR. Jose Vitro LeMay. He's actually a 3-time world champion. There's a bull rider named John. That doesn't work. Sage Steele Kimsey. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Caden Loud, Court McFadden, Keyshawn Whitehorse, Kike Pacheco, Felipe Furlan, Denner Barbosa. Like these are Julio Cesar Marquez,
Hudson Bolton.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Bruno Carvalho, Vincius Pinero Correa. This is the PBR.
Dawson Branton. That's a strong American. Bob Mitchell.
God, this one bull's named Manhater. Hate to get on that one. Another bull named Ricky Vaughn.
Cody Jesus.
Buck Nasty. Ghost Face. I got to spend more time on the PBR. Anyway, Gager's going to be by next. Hernan or Trev would probably last the longest on a bull.
Zach.
Oh, you say Zach. Okay, there we go. There's the three of us. I'd love to see Reed Wilkins climb up on top of a bull. That'd be a fun one. All right, Gager's on the way next. The rap for William Huff still to come. Toronto is out. What do you do with the Maple Leafs? Jake Ottinger, how do you beat them? Will Stuart Skinner run back a .922 save percentage in this series against Dallas like he had last year? All those answers coming up with Joaquin Gage, who's still blown away by Max Verstappen's move to start this past weekend's race. Gage will be by for Pro Am Sports coming out. Let's get to a sports update right now for a place where it's always game day, Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge.
Boston Bruins and general manager Don Sweeney have agreed to a 2-year contract extension this morning ahead of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight from Raleigh between the Hurricanes and Panthers. Action gets underway at 6. Matthias Ekholm, meanwhile, he participated in his first full skate of the 2025 playoffs yesterday ahead of tomorrow's Game 1 down in Dallas between the Stars and Oilers. Ekholm is officially listed as day-to-day. Over the World Hockey Championships, Eli Tolvanen scored the shootout winner, Finland edging Canada 2-1, handing Canada its first loss of the tournament. Canada will now take on Group A leaders Sweden later today. Game 1 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals goes tonight down in OKC between the Thunder and Timberwolves. After dropping 2 of 3 to the Detroit Tigers over the weekend, the Blue Jays return to action tonight. They'll host the Padres to kick off a 3-game set. First pitch, 5:07. CFL preseason schedule getting underway yesterday out in Langford, BC, was the Stamps over the Lions 26-16. The Elks will kick off the preseason this coming Saturday down in Calgary at 7:30. And a vote on whether to allow NFL players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics is expected to pass later today at a league meeting in Minneapolis. Sports Update is presented by Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge with wall-to-wall TVs, daily food and drink specials. It is the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge.
DRS, DRS, drop that wing and try your best. Get up close, you've got to press, must be within 1 second or less. Show that speed, please don't swerve. Hey, look out, here comes a curve. Hit the button, be ambitious. Goodbye, Mikey, too judicious. Around the world, they will prance. Red Bull Ring to Paris, France. And you never want to finish second best. Push on and refuse to lose. Drop the wing and then use DRS, DRS, DRS.
DRS. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it, everybody. All our Nielsen Show original songs brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters. If you haven't had a chance to check them out yet, www.totemoutfitters.ca or visit them 7430 99th Street. Many of you have been there. Many of you know the place is absolutely awesome and a great place to get your kids into sports. The rap for William Huff is still to come today. Somebody said Chase Outlaw has to be the next best name for a bull rider. Is that a real person? Chase Outlaw?
Part of the Outlaw family.
My God.
Getting that first and last name to pair?
You don't have any choice as a child.
Really not.
Like when you're born and they name you Chase Outlaw, you're riding bulls.
It's stronger than Smith.
My buddy texted me, Dakota Butter. That's a great bull riding name, too.
Spell with a T or a D, the Butter?
I think it's
either or. I mean,
Buttar.
I see a Caden Loud as well. I mean,
that's a good one, too. All right, let's go to a guy who used to ride bulls on the mean streets of Kitsilano. Joaquin Gage joins us. Brought to you by Pro Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Gear up for the playoffs. Oilers car flags, 3x5 flags, decals, jerseys, hats, T-shirts, all in stock now. And Pro Am will be open Sunday morning before Game 3 from 9 until 1. Located in Edmonton, the corner of St. Arbor Trail and 128th Ave, or online at ProAmSports.ca. Is Wannock wearing pants today?
He's wearing pants.
I thought he swore off pants.
Summer's off.
What is I thought he was,
summer's over.
You lose one game to Jay and you're completely rattled. Unbelievable. Gage, what's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm good, boys. Happy long weekend or end of long weekend. Hope you guys are rejuvenated. Sounds like a lot of energy in the show today.
Thanks,
so,
man. Got a little bit of
think,
sleep over the weekend.
A little bit of coffee.
You charged up. I like it. I got a new tea for you too, Eric, to try when I bring it in today.
Like a t-shirt or a tea?
No, like a drinking,
it's
like
drinking
a black
tea,
or a herbal or.
Oh, it's a
we-
black. Yeah, it's a black. Yeah. So.
Before we get in, did you make anything? What'd you have going on the grill or in the cooker, the smoker? I mean, I always we talk a little food.
Well, I brought in that brisket the other day, right?
delicious,
the last day. And then my son came over and took it all the meat. But I had because you trim the brisket, right? So all the fatty bits. So I went and got just some lean ground beef, but then I ground the fatty, meaty biscuit bits and made a meatloaf with it. So, but my son took it, so I think it was good. But yeah, so I was I didn't have much this weekend, to tell you the truth. It was all taken. But
I like to imagine you like in those children's cartoons back in the day where you bake a pie and put it by the windowsill and then somebody comes up, that's your boy, but with meatloafs at the windowsill. I like that idea.
I think just being on his own, it's a little bit tougher. The fridge isn't as full.
Yeah.
And he was ravenous. It was like Rick Grimes coming over for dinner.
He hadn't eaten in 5 days.
Yeah. Eating with his hands. I'm like, Jesus, man.
Like he's been in prison. There's a fork right there.
Yeah, and I didn't want to give him the meatloaf because I go, oh, you know what? Just take it. There's a lot of fat in there. Maybe it'll be good for him. So, but that was it, man.
You're a great dad, Gager. You're a great dad. You're a great dad. So was the highlight of the weekend for you then Max Verstappen's move to start that race or what?
I just watched it again. It was ridiculous, man. It was unbelievable. And I mean that track, it's so hard to pass on, right? So Max knew if he could. It was the first time I saw Max kind of be respectful in a way at the corner, like allowing enough room for Oscar. Oscar just broke too early, and you heard George Russell on the radio behind because he had a great start too, and he was like, "What are you doing, Oscar? Why are you slowing down?" Right? Because actually, George, if Oscar could have sped up, it seemed like he had the best jump off the line. He probably could have. It looked like he was going to get ahead of Max too by the second corner. So. Masterful job by Verstappen. Good to see a little bit of continuity with Ferrari, but still a little bit behind. That Williams car is those two drivers are very interesting to watch. Now this week going into Monaco, it all comes down to qualifying, right? So qualifying is always the best, especially on that track. The helmet cams are great, but another race where you're probably not going to see any passing whatsoever unless there's some sort of weather involved or some red flags for cars going into the wall.
Not bad for Lewis Hamilton, though, hey, and Ferrari. I mean, compared to what they've been doing so far, I mean, a fourth place, you got to kind of take that and move on.
Well, just to not even get into Q3, both Ferraris, right? Like, so just what is happening here? And then you see going from 12th to 5th for Lewis. That's got to be a huge confidence boost, not only for him a little bit, but for the team as well. And he heard him on the radio at the end, thanking his team and thinking, we've got something going here. Let's not try to waste this. But you had Vasseur today talking about how even with some of the upgrades that they brought, they don't see a lot of pace in this car and in the Friday, Saturdays where it means the most this weekend to get to Q3 and hopefully put your car on pole. Because other than that, you're probably just going to see the usual suspects with the McLarens and Max and maybe a Mercedes and Ferrari there, but it all comes down to who puts the best lap in Q3 on Saturday.
Bronco Nick points out on the YouTube chat, Monaco is different this year. It's a mandatory 2 stops.
They did talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So maybe a little strategy comes in, but still, I don't see that.
It's so tough to pass there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the part of the season that I'd get to on my F1 season and then just quit.
That was your...
Because no matter how good I raced at that track, it was just, I'd still end up going out. It was ridiculous. All right, Gager, we're going to get to the Oilers and Stars in just a second, but your thoughts on everything that played out in Toronto over the weekend, and we'll dive into the dismantling of the Leafs a little bit more on two guys and a goalie today, but what do you think ends up happening there?
Gosh, it has to be dismantled, right? But I think it starts at the top.
Shanahan got to go.
Well, the plan isn't working, and it's rolling back the same kind of group. They've tweaked everything else with this group aside from the core guys, and it's obviously not enough. It's funny because you see all the stuff online, and Biz Nasty's hilarious being a Leafs fan, but the fact it's not just watching Leafs fans over the weekend, just from going from highs to lows, but the ways they react. But I find they're kind of warranted because the Leafs fail in a amazing fashion. Like they just don't, the games that mean the most, they just do not show up at all. I mean, if this was a 2-1, overtime win by the Florida Panthers, I think you'd see a little bit different reaction to Leaf fans. But because games 5 and 7 were so like vanilla and just not a pulse, and the Mitch Marner dry hair and the spitting and saying "wake up," like it's just something has to be done now. And I'm sad to say it. I feel bad for the players, but some part of me is kind of happy for those fans because they'd be unbearable if they did have some success.
God. It's the hope too that kills you. At least lose Game 6 in Florida, and everybody would right? Like,
yeah. Like the effort level and the fashion that they win Game 6, you think, oh my gosh, here they figured it out.
You're coming home, like that should work in your.
Back to a place where they've had a tremendous amount of success throughout the whole regular season. This is going to be great. And the first 10 minutes, you just get like it was men against boys. And not only that, but they didn't even look like they wanted to be there.
No,
yeah.
That's the thing that hurts most. I was like, what is happening? Like, how do they put that foot forward in a Game 7 at home to against the defending Stanley Cup champions? It's got to be mind-numbing this week waking up in Toronto.
Game 1 tomorrow, obviously. Oilers down in Dallas. A rivalry that spans, I guess, not just last year, but dating back a bit. I think both these franchises and fan bases enjoy playing each other. I know Dusty wanted to get to specifically goaltending. I mean, that's your major. But we did have a question and 3 questions too many outside of a Mikko Rantanen and outside of a Jake Ottinger. Who or what from the Stars, I guess from an Oilers fan point of view, would concern you the most or you would see being the biggest thorn in the Oilers side this series?
Is this which Stars player could ride a bull best? Or just...
If that's how you want to phrase it, sure, yeah.
Wyatt Johnston, the name. Wyatt's a definite bull riding name.
Yeah, that is a good one. What concerns me most, after watching the last 2 series, and you have Connor McDavid saying, "Look, we beat 2 really good teams here," and dipping my toe in the water of watching the Dallas Winnipeg series, right now I'm more in the Hernan Salas camp where I think the Dallas Stars have to worry more about the Edmonton Oilers than vice versa. Like the way that they are all playing right now, the speed, the commitment to the physicality, to making it, to going to the tough areas. I just saw so much of that in the Vegas series, in the latter part of the Kings series. The Oilers are building here, where when I watch Dallas play, they're a really good team and they've got some special players on that team. But right now, I think the way that the Oilers' depth is performing gives them the upper hand. Like, I think Hernan and I went through where do you give check marks to which areas? Obviously, at forward, you give them the check mark. Goaltending, we'll get to that. But even on the defensive side, just the way that everyone's playing right now, It's tough because they do have Miro Heiskanen, and he is a special player, and with Harley, but I think the gap is a lot closer than you think, even with those two players for the Dallas Stars. Now, with Jake Ottinger, he did look good, and he's a solid, but I don't think the Winnipeg Jets did enough to get to the front of the net. And it was a completely different way of the Oilers were playing against Adin Hill than the Jets did against Ottinger, I think. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. And you have the fact that Stuart Skinner, obviously probably going to start game one, had a lot of success going up against Ottinger last year. So a lot of the things that going into the series as of right now are check marks in the Edmonton Oilers' favor.
Yeah, it's the goaltending one's very interesting because Skinner simply outplayed Ottinger last year. He had a .922 save percentage in the series. Ottinger was a .901. Gager, where are you at on Ottinger's ability to steal a game or two in this series? Is he at that level for you? Because Button made a great point. He said Dallas's overall team defense has not been good in these playoffs, but Ottinger has been pretty good. I think the Oilers can get to him. We saw them get to Darcy Kemper when Kemper was playing well. We saw them get to Adin Hill. Is Ottinger more of the same, or is he a different beast?
I don't think so. I think he's an elite goaltender, but he doesn't belong in that superstar category of goaltender. Can he win? Can he steal a game? Yes, he can steal a game, but that is extremely difficult. What does stealing a game against the Edmonton Oilers mean? Like you won 6-5 and managed to make the last save?
Kemper stole a game and lost it.
Yeah,
exactly. Remember, he was brilliant. He goalied him, and it still didn't matter.
Even Adin Hill, he the last game, he was making great saves. And the ability to goalie the Oilers has become extremely difficult come playoff time, even for goalies that are playing above their average. And they've found a way. And it's not like they haven't had success against Jake Ottinger before. There's none of that mystique. There's extreme confidence in this team to score goals. And now I think they know how to score those goals. They have to, like Ottinger's a goaltender that great movement, but puts himself in a position to, when there are those screens and deflections, he puts his body, which is a huge frame, in really good position. If you can battle for that front of the net and not allow Jake Ottinger to get to his spot, so to speak, like at the top of the crease, I think you're going to have a lot of success against him, just because that's his style of play was, I don't want to say easier, but it looked a lot easier to perform against the Jets than what I saw the Edmonton Oilers did to Adin Hill, although he sits back in his net, but they still battled and got net front presence by the end of the series.
Gager, would you or do you see any changes to this Oilers lineup heading into the series, and maybe Arvidsson or maybe a 29-97 reunion? I know a few people floated that theory earlier in the show, maybe to shut down the Dallas Big Guns, or do you just see Knobloch running, what got them out of last series, just back again, re-racking it and going from there?
I think you just run it back to what they were doing in the last game, right? I think it was a formula for success. Obviously, the finish line. It'd be interesting to see who gets that matchup. I could see Leon kind of doing that, since he was going up against Jack Eichel's line for the better part of the last series. But again, I do think when you look at both teams and both lineups, the Dallas Stars have to worry about the depth of the Edmonton Oilers more so than vice versa. The big guns have come to play for the Dallas. Rantanen's going nuts right now, right? But I think if the Oilers have, in games past against Mikko Rantanen, have played him quite physical, and he gets into a little bit of a little bit of looking at the refs and complaining that he's getting hit too much. And I think if they can do what they did to Pietrangelo to Mikko Rantanen in this series, you can get him to start thinking about other things and scoring goals and having success.
Gager, great chat as always, buddy. We'll see you in the office later on today.
Can't wait, boys.
There you go. That's Joaquin Gage, former Edmonton Oiler, F1 enthusiast and analyst.
And a hell of a father for feeding his son.
His son, he kicks him out, yet he comes back and
as he come back from the wilderness, like torn, tattered clothes.
Looking like Leonardo DiCaprio in Revenant. Being attacked by the bear, coming back.
Laying in the woods, dreaming.
Yeah, I imagine Gage's son coming back like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Just weighing like $115 and just eating all of Gager's meat.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's Joaquin Gage, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. They will be open from 9 until 1 on Sunday, game day. So if you're rolling into town, like, oh man, I wish I'd go get somewhere, get some gear somewhere. Well, Pro-Am's doing it for you. The cooks and boys, they get it. They know what's up. Make plans to swing on by there. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, get it done with Bruce and the team at William Huff. I don't know. They've been doing it for like 80 years. So they're really good at it. 75 years, I guess. What would it be? 1952.
Round up.
73 years, maybe.
80.
Let's say 73 years.
If you're doing 100, if you round up.
They've been doing it for a century.
Better part of a century.
A century. Yeah. Better part of a century.
I think you can say that, right?
That's a very accurate description, I think, of the team at William Huff. Check them out, www.williamhuff.com. When they're not wrapping walls, obviously family members are breaking Ken Holland news as well.
We cannot forget about that.
Yeah, that's who got it first.
She had it first.
Yeah. All right, what did we learn on the show today, boys?
Don Sweeney, 2-year extension in Boston.
Yeah, huge news.
It happened. So
yeah, no, that is something that moved today during the show. You're right. I learned that you've never had a full pickle and Trev's never made coffee.
Yeah, I don't know how to make coffee.
Okay, you don't know how to make.
I'll eat a pickle while you make a pot of coffee. We should. That'll be put it on the TikTok.
Okay,
a coffee pickle. How's that not a thing yet? Or pickle coffee.
Yeah, and our Brian show as well. That's going to be
a Brian show on a sweep.
How do we even go about that?
Well, just drink brine.
Just
show? Gallons of brine.
What's a brine?
Yeah.
What's a brine accent sound like?
Brian Nugent Hopkins. That type of thing. Okay. All those types of texts and stuff. I think we might end up with another gentleman's sweep show.
I feel like that's gotta be. I feel like that has to be like a one-time thing. That was the first and only.
You don't think we'll get another gentleman's sweep?
No, I think like
it's tough to recreate.
Are you saying we don't do it if there is another gentleman?
Yeah, I feel like it's tough. To
Reed's gotten to you.
Yeah, but I mean we've added sweet things.
I know mine's. Look at that. There's mine right there.
We still have an unopened bottle of port.
Sitting for a gentleman's show.
Get the port.
Oh yeah, we still got that bottle of port over there. We gotta get to. We're definitely running back gentleman's show again.
Okay. Okay. Toast fire.
If you want this time, you could be bartender again, or you too could join a gentleman's game.
Okay, I think I want to be more of a gentleman, proper gentleman.
You do want to be a proper gentleman next time?
Yeah, but maybe.
Well, then we'll get somebody else to come in and bartend.
Great in the bartending.
I still can bartend.
Hey, no. We'll get somebody else to come in and bartend.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll find somebody else to come in and bartend for us.
Yes,
that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
I agree.
Bartender Benny the bartender. Hey, there you go. 3 gentlemen and Benny.
100%.
Benny the bartender. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. We did debut a. Somebody pointed out that it sounds like the Bare Naked Ladies, but it's a Doc Holliday tribute song on a Tombstone Tuesday. Here we go. You know what this sounds like? Platypalooza.
Yeah. He drinks that whiskey right off the shelf, but hadn't yet started to defile himself. Everyone knew Doc was simply the best when he challenged Ike Clanton to a spelling contest. I'm your Huckleberry, Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry, is what he'd say. You're a daisy if you do, had one gun for each of you. Now he leads the Howlute crew. Wyatt Earp was his friend, fought beside him till the end. Shot Johnny Ringo in the head, died of TB laying in his bed. I your Huckleberry, Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry, is what he'd say. You're a daisy if you do, had one gun for each of you. Now he leads the Hallowed Crew. I'm your Huckleberry Doc Holliday. I'm your Huckleberry is what he'd say. You're a daisy if you do. Had one gun for each of you. Mel Heats leads the Hallowed.
The Doc over in the chat says, a song about me? I'm tickled pink, boys. I'm tickled pink.
Rob from the Grove wants Fergie's prostate for the bartender.
Oh, God. Fergie can't get up that
stumbling
early.
around here, I think that would...
Fergie operates from about 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. every day. There's just no way.
Wake up!
You and your stupid bits. All right. Let's get to your text of the day today. We were talking about EST bull riding. I want to go text of the day. Steakhouse. Is anything more cowboyish than a steakhouse team burger? God, gotta love it. Shout out to Fergie who actually brought these by for us. Bun to bun, it's loaded with steakhouse flavors unlike any you've had before. It's got bacon jam that's sweet and smoky, a peppercorn aioli that's creamy and savory, and A&W's juicy grass-fed beef raised without the use of hormones and steroids. Taste the Steakhouse Team Burger for a limited time at A&W, Canada's original cheeseburger chain since 1956. Bones is going to win text of the day today. Reed would get on that bull, speak to it as the bookbinder, and walk it around the ring placidly. It's just like the gate opens and Reed comes out sitting up high like he's riding a horse. Bookbinder of Alberta, riding the bull. He's my friend. No reason to jump. And that'd be the bull whisper. Yeah, that would be pretty funny actually. Bones, you're gonna win text of the day today, buddy. Gift certificate to A&W will await you upon your arrival here at Edmonton Sports Talk. All right, what are we watching tonight, boys? What are we watching tonight?
Well, you got a couple options. Jays Padres. 5:07 from Toronto.
Oh, from Toronto. Okay.
Toronto.
They played last year in San Diego, and we were there.
Game 1, Western Conference Finals in the NBA. Thunder coming off that 7-gamer. A well-rested Timberwolves, who you have at +7, correct? Minnesota tonight?
I have I was just going to say, the early bird bet is waiting for you over at Play Alberta. Timberwolves +7. Hurricanes to take game 1 +260. Use the code YAG50. And on a $5 deposit, you get a $50 free bet. You could use it on that tonight.
And Hurricanes Panthers.
Yeah, that's the other one.
It's your triad.
If the Panthers win game 1 tonight, after coming off a best, like a 7th game, Carolina's been waiting. That's a huge kick in the balls to Carolina.
Yeah,
that would be a statement win for sure. I think Carolina gets at least 1, maybe 2 games in this series. I'll say one of them would be tonight.
But you like the Thunder tonight? You like Timberwolves to cover, but you like the Thunder to... Because they too coming off that 7-gamer.
I don't hate a T-Wolves sprinkle, but I like them +7.
Yeah.
Timberwolves are big, and that's one thing that has really helped the Thunder. They're big too.
Yeah.
So, Timberwolves +7, Hurricanes to win +260. It's your early bird bet of the day. I'll be throwing up Dusty's play of the day on social media. Probably be a player prop from one of those 2 games that we will get to over there as well. Gordon Marner says, guys, I just looked up the Stars depth chart. They have Labushkin on 3rd line right wing. Is that a typo? That's just how it is because they're dressing 7 D-men. So they just got to slot him somewhere, Gord. So don't worry about that. They're playing 7D and 11 forwards, or at least they have been. We'll see if they change that. We'll continue to get you ready for game 1, which will be going on tomorrow night. Double Boston Pizza Day tomorrow because Tommy and I are Windermere Boston Pizza for lunch.
Wow.
And then Tommy's at Westgate Boston Pizza for dinner. And pre and post game.
So boys, look at that little boiler.
It's gonna be a great day at Boston Pizza. Windermere for lunch tomorrow for Lock Shop and Oil Stream. If you would like to join us there, and then obviously running it back game 1 at Westgate Boston Pizza tomorrow night with Tommy Gazzola. All right, that's going to do it for us today. For YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielsen. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11 o'clock. Until then, the Hangout's coming up. If you're watching on YouTube, turn on autoplay. That'll take you right on over to the Hangout. And if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, Hangout coming up in less than 5 minutes. Do not go anywhere. We'll talk to you at 11 o'clock. Take it easy.